right, let's see if that works.
This is the greatest anime bars you've ever heard. Oh man. Nerd out on this network. Class is now in session. Please take your seats, cause you about to learn this lesson. Everybody pay attention, this is my profession. Oh, and by the way, what is it? This is viewer's discretion. I'm in the game like it's long horizon. If you fight it, call me Lord Eisen. Outsmarting and hypnotizing. While you biting like Attack on Titan. Got my Levi's on under me. Smash your potato, that's word to Sasha.
No idea why it's only pulling that, but okay.
I got a train. Death note if I get your name. It's like Charizard, how I speak explaining. I'm with my dogs, fang over fang. It's Usopp, how I'm taking aim. You don't like anime, you're such a lame. But that's okay, I'm on a roll. Mask on like Gojo. On this adventure like JoJo. I've been ballin' Kuroko. You say you fresh and you the best, but that's a stretch. Goma no. Had an Android when I was 17. Then I evolved like a Pokemon. Play your cards right like Yu-Gi-Oh! And on point like a cactus Togemon. I'm about
Fang
to
over fang.
in the water like Ponyo. Breathe the fire like Tanjiro. Gamble with your life like Yomiko. Cause I'm kicking flames like Sanji. Nah, I'm kicking flames like Shinra. Promise I'll never land like Emma. I'm like Zoro with this Emma. I'm like Jin Mori when I beat you.
Hey, welcome, Captain Auditech. So good to have you. We love to see it.
It's like Uno with this reverse card, full counter, Meliodas.
And we are live with Smorgasbord. 2011 was a great year. Watching the Canucks lose was glorious. Was it? Was it? I don't know. Grab bag of good stuff. DBS Brawley, yeah, DBS Brawley is a good one. I don't know why it's using the King of the Hill thumbnail. Was it? Let me. I don't know. Let me see if I can change that, because like that's not what it's supposed to be.
Oh man. Nerd out on this network. Classes now in session. Please take your seats, cause you about to learn this lesson.
I guess it's
everybody pay attention. This is my profession. Oh, and by the way, what is it? This is viewer's discretion.
You know what? Here, let me.
If we fight and call me Lord Eisen. Outsmarting and hypnotizing. While you biting like Attack on Titan. Got my Levi's on up in me. Smash your potato. That's where the Sasha. You want this work?
Reverb on reverb. So I think I'm gonna mute this. That way it doesn't keep coming in. And we can just go to just chatting. And hiya, gang. Howdy, hey, hey, hey. Howdy, hey, hey, howdy, hi, hey. Hi ho, it's off to school we go. Hi, welcome to a very special, completely random Saturday night stream. What are we streaming? I don't know. There we go. Oh, look, you can even see Major. He's right there. Sleeping like the little baby boy that he is. Major boy. Can we see some tail action? You gonna give some tail? Yeah, there we go. There's his tail. Love the top of my heart. Yes, it is grass Pokemon. We've got Bulbasaur, Turtwig, Snivy's on here. Chikorita, Chespin. I think that's all of them. I don't think it's got like stream your dubs. Maybe. I can react to them live. Okay, that's on the docket. I'll include it. But yeah, that is what we're doing tonight. We're doing a little bit of everything. We were going to do my has-been video came up as an ad one day. Really? Wow. Really? I don't have any ads going or anything right now, so that is hysterical to me. But yeah, no, we were supposed to do Baldur's Gate 3, but my wife's friend got back from Italy, and so she's just taking a casual day. We should be streaming tomorrow, and we'll be playing some Baldur's Gate and all that good stuff. But tonight, I got the PlayStation set up. It's revving. There is a bit of a lag, so I probably won't be doing any live action stuff or anything like that. That's how I found you. Hey, there we go. That was one of my big videos. That was the I think that is my biggest video. Animation or live action stuff. I don't know. Maybe some live action. Sell me on it. What live action things would you like to see me react to? What What do you want to watch? What do you want to do? I am down for anything. We can restart Yakuza Infinite Wealth. We can... I will say, my Has-Been Hotel video, it is one that I didn't want to make. I never wanted to make a Has-Been Hotel video. I never wanted to make anything about Vinci Pop. But my wife was like, you've got to make this video. You've got to do this. And I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to half-ass it. I want to do it proper. So I learned how to make my voice sound like an old-timey radio. And I modded it. Can you share the YouTube links in a chat? Hello? Yeah. Did I grab the free DLC for Ishin? I haven't. I have actually not even played Ishin. The Wire should be summed up in 30 minutes. Okay, here's my 30-second summation of The Wire. The Wire, for everyone that wants to see what Idris Elba was up to before playing Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic the Hedgehog. The Wire, where Michael B. Jordan plays a kid selling drugs to people. The Wire. Yes, you will hear people talk about it incessantly, and yet they probably only watched the first 2 seasons. Your old-timey radio voice reminds me of the Legend of Korra announcer. Yeah, that was also a partial inspiration for us. Like, Korra and the gang are stuck dealing with Amon and the raid of the Ab Temple. Will they get out of this one? Who knows? If you do get Ishin, get the DLCs. They'll help you out a lot. I'm sure. I want to play Ishin. I do. It's on the list. I am so bad about Yakuza because, like, if people ask me, and I've been playing Yakuza since the PS2, but I think that was, Yakuza 3 was the first one to be localized in the States? I don't think we got one for a minute. And then I play Kiwami, and I play Kiwami 2, and I played Yakuza 0 and all that. My favorite Yakuza is Yakuza Like a Dragon. Specifically, Yakuza Like a Dragon, I do one of the Three Stooges last as you do the old time voice. I'm so glad that made you laugh. I've been working on my Alan Tudyk too, where it's basically just, you shake your throat and it's just, I'm going to blow up Gotham Stadium. Whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You have some fun with it. That's the joy of voice acting. And I'll never get a role. Ha ha ha. But we have fun here. We have fun. Everybody check out I'm going to have to set up like a major cam where it has major, because I moved this cushion in here. It was out in the hallway. I was like, if I move it in here, he'll probably be in here. Sure enough, there's the boy. Major. Can we get some tail action? Yeah, there's that tail going. Who's a good boy? But yeah, no, I adore Yakuza Like a Dragon. I am a sucker for good turn-based combat. I love me some good JRPGs. My comfort game lately has been Dragon Quest Elusive Age. We could talk Resident Alien. Aha! See, the problem with talking Resident Alien is that would require me to watch Resident Alien, of which I have not done. I am not a proper Tudyk fan. My wife and I have been watching Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself, and it has been glorious. That is a great show. That is a wonderful show. If you have not seen it, both seasons are on Netflix. It's a quick 16 episodes. You're in, you're out. It's great. It is just mwah, chef's kiss. Let's see here. What can we do? What do you want to do? Do you want to do some reacts? Do you want to, what are you feeling? What's got you, what you grooving to? You know what? I'm going to put this in self-promotion. Oh, I guess the first 3 episodes of Don Don did come out in theaters. That came out this weekend. See a live action Devil May Cry. I would definitely check that out. I would watch a live action Devil May Cry. But we could do tier lists. We could do, maybe we'll have some Eureka. I haven't thought of Eureka in years. The greatest shaving cream ad ever. For those of you that don't know, Gillette funded a lot of Eureka. They funded for some reason, I don't know. It might be because they had a partnership with the NBC Universal, but it's like every other scene, there's a Gillette like spray can, and so many times, you know, shaving cream or razors come up in conversation. They're in the billboards. It's so wild. A live action DMC series, also 90s ads compilation. We could react to some 90s ads. I would be down for that. Yeah, we've only been streaming for what? A couple minutes now. Oh, that was the other funny thing was my wife had watched Beetlejuice for the first time. She loves the musical. She loves Alex Brightman. And so she put it on. She put on a like Sci-Fi Channel recording of it. I'm like, no. We've got Max. Just watch it. You know, watch it without any edits. Watch it without commercials. It's 90 minutes. You'll be fine. And so we watched it, and she did not remember. And, you know, I didn't remember any of it because I've only seen it maybe twice in my life. That movie has not aged well. It is actually kind of boring now. Like, especially if you go from like Beetlejuice to going back to watching Beetlejuice. It's like, oh, I mean, the practical effects are fun. Isn't there a DMC anime coming soon? See, I remember the DMC anime that came out, God, I want to say like 10 years ago. That's dating me by a minute. Minecraft, MGS, your takes. Okay. Yeah, okay. Madhouse. Madhouse was the one that did Devil May Cry. Thank you, Wayward Writer Ryu. I knew it sounded familiar, and I couldn't remember why. But yeah, Madhouse did those, and they also did the Marvel ones. So they did like Blade, Wolverine, X-Men, Iron Man. And then they also did Supernatural, DMC. I feel like there's another one I'm forgetting that was pretty obvious. Hello, everybody. I was first introduced to you on the American Dad retrospective. We're the Marios, aka Gage. Hey, welcome! So glad to have you. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Smorgasbord Saturday, where we'll be doing just a little bit of everything. Maybe we'll have special guest stars. Maybe we won't. Who knows? That's part of the fun of Smorgasbord Saturday. I just, you know, I didn't stream on Wednesday because I was down with the vid or whatever it was. Yeah. Supernatural not only has an anime, Supernatural has a 24 episode anime. It is so wild. Dean and I always want to say Hank and Dean because I'm used to Venture Brothers, but both of the brothers are the original actors. It's basically original stories. It's actually kind of neat. I like paranormal series like that. So, you know, Muho and Ryuji's Paranormal Investigation Club, Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan. Really anything that's got like a supernatural spin to it, I'm usually a fan of. It's fine. If you're expecting it to be like a proper supernatural thing, it doesn't really have anything to do with the show. It doesn't make any callbacks to the show. So it's very good if you don't know anything about Supernatural, and it's very good if you know nothing, if you just want extra Supernatural to be. I was surprised it was a 24 episode anime though. That's what got me. I would think it would only be like 10 or 12. Nope, 24, 2 discs. Here is my problem with Ghost Stories. Ghost Story, this is me showing my age. I remember when the Ghost Stories dub was first. Ghost Stories was a riot, and then I had someone, you know, because like when you're in high school, you're watching it on Halloween, you torrented it, and you're just having a fun time. You know, people's anime clubs would play it from time to time. I saw someone talking about it recently, and they're like, it's so offensive and wrong. I'm like, you can't judge it by modern day ideas. You have to look at it in the period it came out in. They did it because they had something dumb to do, and it's just a fun ride. Just enjoy it. Like, Ghost Stories, it was, hey, the anime didn't do great in Japan. No one's going to really care about this. You don't have a ton of budget. Just make something. Just make something so we can get paid. And they got drunk, and they just ad-libbed a ton of it, and what you got is gold. And you can hear that in anything. If you, people have to remember that voice actors are people too. And if you've ever heard the Dragon Ball Z, warm-up, outtakes and everything, you're gonna get that same kind of Ghost Stories humor. It's just wildly inflammatory, wildly offensive for the sake of being offensive. So many of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX voices Sean Schimmel does, who played Goku in Dragon Ball Z, are just these massive parodies. And he doesn't even remember half of them they did, which is great in its own right. It's just I don't know. Ghost Stories is a treat. It's a treasure. Have I done any interesting voice work lately? No. None whatsoever. I have auditioned. It has not materialized at all, but, fuck it, we ball. It will come eventually. That is what she said. If you like horror anime, you should try Dark Gatherings. It's like Pokemon, but with ghosts, and your Pokemon can also just kill you. I have not heard of Dark Gatherings. Let me look that up. Oh, this looks recent. This is last year. Well, that would explain why I haven't heard of it. Oh, yeah. Well, and the Team 4-Star people worked with Funimation on a few projects. I think they still do. I think Masako X is still pretty involved. I have not seen anything about Dark Gathering. I'll have to check that out. I know nothing about it. One of my favorites, maybe I'll do that for October, is talk about my 30 favorite horror anime. Because one of my absolute favorites is what is it? Record of Darkness? No, that's not it. Whatever you do, don't watch Toko. Not because Toko is bad or, scary or anything. It's just because it's horrid. It's just the worst. Let's see here. Well, and that's the funny thing is some of Funimation's actors were actually in the Attack on Titan parody that Team 4-Star did, the first episode. Chris Sabat is in both Hellsing Ultimate Abridged and the Attack on Titan Abridged, but because they got the copyright strike that they did for Attack on Titan Abridged, they had to scrap it all. You can find it, but it's, there won't be an episode 2 anytime soon. But they were flattered by it, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that they were like, you know what, we like them. This is cool. Oh, buddy, I'm just trying to keep the lights on at this point. I don't care. I would love it. I absolutely would, but it's fine. I've made my peace, because I tried to be an anime voice actor for a long time, and I just never got my foot in the door. So yeah, I did Odd Attack stuff. That was a ton of fun. I did. You can find me in some games online. You can find me in some mods, but that's really about it. Let's see here. Also, Santa in the Plan to Eradicate Christmas? Probably. I would believe that. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense that he would be in Dragon Ball Superhero. What is the name of that's gonna drive me crazy? Sci-fi Animunde anime. Okay. I remember Dead Leaves. I remember, none of these are it. Oh, this is gonna bug me. It was about an author who was going through feudal Japan, and he would experience all these things, and it was so trippy in the best way, and I loved it, but I can't remember the name of it. Here we go. This looks like a pretty definitive list. If it's mentioning Rave Master, Robot Carnival, which was amazing, Star Blazers. You know what? We could watch, we could react to? Oh my god. I could show you all the first anime video I ever made. I made it 5 years ago. It was supposed to be the launch for the channel. You can't find it anymore because I took it down because it had two things that I just don't agree with anymore. Requiem from the Darkness. Requiem from the Darkness. You need to check out Requiem from the Darkness. It was great. It's like 13 episodes long, and it's amazing. Oh, that felt so good to finally figure out. Oh, that bothered me so much. Anna Mondays just had bops, though. Like, they played Monster. You had Karas, which had Piper Parabo in it. That was such a weird dub get. They got Piper Parabo. This is from the old sci-fi Anna Mondays. Dead Leaves they'd play, Chrono Crusade, Demon City Shinjuku, Blackjack, the Man with the Hands of God. The original Bastard. Has anyone watched the Netflix Bastard? I've heard it's fine. I read Bastard years ago, and it's on the list. It's on the list. You know what? I don't think I can get copyright struck for my own video, you know? I'm sure I still have it. I'm sure I didn't get rid of it. I honestly want to watch Helsing, OG, and Ultimate Enemy. Laura Bailey, was it? Oh, Laura Bailey. What an icon. When you finally had the patience to... Okay, so here's the thing about that. I am a huge Naoki Urasawa fan, and this is going to be my controversial takes go. Monster is like my fourth favorite Naoki Urasawa work. It's good, don't get me wrong. Monster is really, really good, but like, I love Master Keaton, I love 20th Century Boy, 21st Century Boy, but my favorite, and I was so glad when it got an anime, was Pluto. Pluto is one of my absolute favorite Naoki Urasawa works, but I'm also just a big Astro Boy fan. I will say Billy Bat was not great. Billy Bat was fine. It went for too long. Did I ever watch Dragon Ball Absalon? Isn't that the fan-made one? Yeah. I auditioned for this, actually. Did not watch it, but I did audition for it. I remember that. From two things. Critical. Well, she's also in... Laura Bailey's also in Vox Machina, if I remember correctly. Don't give up the voice acting. It's just like... Now, yes, as a standalone story, Monster is better than Pluto. I will give it that. But if you've experienced Astro Boy, if you've experienced the world of Astro Boy, Pluto just hits different. You can tell Urasawa was a genuine fan of everything that... oh, come on. I can't forget his name now. He's the godfather of all anime. That's a shame. Did you know your favorite Star Wars director was... You were in that! That's amazing! Oh. Well, Ryan, I hope you're doing okay. Are you well? Is everything all right? I'm so sorry that happened to you. That is horrible. My day is comparatively doing fine. Just getting over an illness and bracing for the next weekend, chatting with all of you beautiful people, having a beautiful Saturday night. We're going to have some fun. Wow, I am so sorry. Wow. Yeah, that is... Huh. Oh, yeah, and Laura Bailey was, She was Mary Jane in Spider-Man, the video games. Let's see what else she's been in. I'm not pretending like I know all of this. Okay, I will always defend the Blue Dragon anime. The adaptation was fine. Like, Blue Dragon was also just a really, 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 really great series. I really enjoyed the game. The game was a lot of fun. Chobits. Okay, Chobits doesn't... Another controversial take. I will never say that Chobits is criminally underrated. If you go back and rewatch it, there is a lot of stuff in there that is yikes-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. But also, it is just part of a larger Clamp universe, so that it's one part of a massive beast. Like, Chobits is a part of Holic, it's a part of Tsubasa, it's a part of... I'm honestly surprised there's not some lanky dude running up with a Pizza Hut pizza going, I'm gonna kill my dad! Like, it is such a... It's part of X. It's part of... I don't know. When you have to boot them up the way you boot them up, maybe not. But, it's fan service made by women. It's confusing. Oh, Laura Bailey was Jaina Proudmoore? I actually know who that is. I did not know that. Oh, and she was Hannah in Close Enough. Oh, I miss Close Enough. Close Enough. Oh, she was Toru in Fruits Basket. That's so fun. And she was in probably the best DuckTales. I love Captain Horenzo to voice Wolf Caraco in My Darkness dub, where you were in as... Oh, very cool. Very cool. I'm glad that there is a lot of overlap there. I somehow managed to delete all of my mom's as they were on... Oh. I remember I was playing... God, what was it? Xenosaga? Tyler Tibor, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was playing Xenosaga, and I think I was on like disc 3 of 4, I want to say. It was one of the Xenosagas that had 4 discs. I remember that because I rented it. And it was a Blockbuster one, and it had all 4 discs just like crunched together. And I was always afraid, like, if you got them out the wrong way, they were going to break, because they would. That's the thing people don't remember. It's like, those discs were so brittle. But I remember I was punished, and I don't know why my mom thought this was a good idea, but she put it in an envelope, and then she put a magnet over my memory card to stick it to the refrigerator so that I would remember I was grounded. And when I got it back, all my data was wiped. Everything was gone. It barely even recognized that there was something there, and I had to get a new memory card. I was distraught. 5 discs. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not crazy. I'm glad I'm not losing my mind. I knew it was something ludicrous like that. Now it's just, 200 gigs of download, and then you get it. Yeah, that one hurt. Well, and the funny thing is, when I was a kid, my hangout room was the family room, and it had a switch where if you flip the switch, all the power in the room went out. Now, this was back at the PS2 age. Autosave was not a thing. Autosave was very, 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 very uncommon. And if my mom accidentally flipped that switch when she was flipping on any of the other 4 switches next to it, I would lose hours of progress. Just instantly. Because I was a dumb kid, I didn't save frequently. Nowadays, unless I'm save scumming, I don't really save at all. I don't care. But, and then you start save scumming. You're like, I can't go back to a world without this. This is still bugging me. What is his name? Oh my God. I did a whole paper on him. I could teach a whole class on his works, and I don't remember his freaking name. Osamu Tezuka. That's his name. Oh my God. The creator of Robot Boy, or Astro Robot Boy. Yeah, he made Robot Boy. He made the Canadian series Robot Boy with the dummy thick mom. Currently safe scumming my way through Baldur's Gate 3. You know, we were supposed to play that today. We'll probably play it tomorrow. Baldur's Gate is an interesting series. I am definitely more a DM than I am a a player. I don't do a ton of play. I like building my own worlds. I like having my own fun, you know. Let's hang out in the lounge. There we go. If anyone comes by, they come by. If no one does, no one does, and that's okay. Wow, Laura Bailey really has been dummy thick moms. Like, okay, it's on a scale of like the mom from Robot Boy to Dexter's mom and everyone in between. You're on your third playthrough? Wow. My sister-in-law was obsessed with Baldur's Gate and getting the right reactions and the right, results. She was save scumming. I think she's probably put, 400, 500 hours, something ludicrous like that into the game. I couldn't be me. Not with Baldur's Gate, at least. I'm not saying I haven't put 500 hours into a game, but usually those are roguelikes. I don't know if I could do that. But I'm boring when it comes to games. I'm boring when it comes to, content. Let's see here. Wow, I'm still scrolling. I've been scrolling on Laura Bailey for like a minute. She has 523. What animatronic from FNAF would you want to have as a friend? You'd want Roxanne Wolf. I'm going to say Freddy Fazbear. And the reason I say Freddy Fazbear is because I do not know any of the other characters in Five Nights at Freddy's, for I have not played those games. Oh my god. Oh, I was about to say, wait, Laura Bailey's in Codename Steam. She plays Lucina from Fire Emblem, because Lucina could be used in Codename Steam if you used her amiibo. I put hours into Yakuza Kiwami. Oh, Yakuza Kiwami, so good. Which one? Kiryu-chan. Five Nights is too scary. It's not even too scary. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's came out when I was in college, and I was. Oh yeah. She did play Lust in FMA. I wasn't into horror games. I was never into horror games. I played Slender. I remember when that was a big thing. Maybe I should watch all the comic dubs to look for her just in case. You know what? I think that is one of the things we may do. I just downloaded it too. I know it's here. I've got so many files on this freaking computer. I've got so many documents. Oh, also, you met Michael Sinterklaas? Wait, who does James Urbaniak play in Code Geass? I mean, it makes sense that he reached out to him since, for those of you who don't know, Michael Sinterklaas is a huge name in anime voice acting. You probably know him as like Nanoichira Gilga in Bleach. He was Guy in Gao Gaigar. He was, he's done all kinds of big things. But he's also Dean Venture in Venture Brothers. And James Urbaniak is Doc Venture in Venture Brothers. So that is really cool. I had no idea he was in the new Geass, but I have not watched it. I am a purist in that Code Geass ended after the first season, and I refuse to. I've seen the second season, but that's where it ends for me. Unless they show up in Super Robot Wars, which I am an unabashed fan of. Fun fact: the actor for Weiss was the narrator. And how heavy are the dumbbells you lift? I had no idea how heavy your dumbbells had a dub. Do the Kengen Ashura characters have the same characters same dub characters as they do in the Netflix series? Because if they do, that's great. Because I know, like, Gao Long shows up. I know, like, Yamashita Kazuo and Oma show up in, like, background, but I don't think they have speaking roles. But if Gao Long has the same voice as the guy that played him in the Netflix show, that would warm my heart. Gao Long. He's one of my favorite characters. Oh, my. Okay. All right. Who's ready for cringe? Who's ready to watch something just utterly and completely cringeworthy? This is one of my first things I ever made. The editing is great. The editing is fantastic. My buddy did it. He is a fantastic editor. It's the only time I have paid for editing on a video. Any other video you see, I'm the guy that edited it. That is why it sucks. That is why my editing is bad. How many comics do you want to watch on stream? All 40 might be a bit much. Tell you what, pick your favorite one of. I'm gonna be a little biased here. I'm gonna be a little weird on this. Pick your favorite one that I'm in, and I will watch that one on stream. Oh, you're gonna need to increase those cringe inhibitors, to the nth degree. This is from 5 years ago, folks. This is an oldie but a goldie. All right, let me make sure I've got this all set up. Okay. This looks pretty. Hang on. What if I full screen it? Does that fix this? No. Okay, well, let me just adjust this. Closing out. The cringe hype is real. Oh, you have no idea. Twilight Part 1. Okay, we'll do Twilight Part 1. After this, we will do Twilight Part 1. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. There's only so much you can do. God. Oh, wait. I don't even... I can shrink myself. I don't need to be my big... I just want to apologize to everyone for last week. I am so sorry. So for those of you that weren't here, I did a react to The Critic. We watched not all, I think we watched 22 of 24 episodes in the 6 episodes, and it got copyright struck. And I am so sorry about that. I feel so bad that no one got to watch it after the fact. I am working on the video for it. It's taking some time because we only watched 22 of the 24, and that's all the episodes I have. So I am on a feverish hunt looking for these lost episodes. So it's there, but I can't find it. All right, here we go. Let's transition. All right. I don't know if you're ready, but here it is. Here is Anime in the West, a love story. Off to a great
Anime.
start.
You know it. You may love it. And that guy in your class, the one with the neck beard and the weird hat, well, he really loves the one about those monster girls. When the idea of anime comes up, most people have some kind of idea of what it is, but they don't know much about it. Much less, they don't know how much impact it's had on American media. When you have people like Kanye West, Britney Spears, John Boyega, Kim Kardashian, James Cameron, Snoop Dogg, Guillermo del Toro, Steph Curry, Samuel L. Jackson, the late great Robin Williams, and Michael B. Jordan all talking about anime, well, it starts to be a little interesting. How did all these people that have majorly influenced American culture and American media been impacted by something that not a lot of people know about? How is such a niche thing so prominent? And that's kind of where we have to look at anime's impact in America. Because while a lot of people think that anime's only been around for
I hate listening to my voice.
The truth of the matter is
I suffer for you.
In the early 60s that anime has been impacting the West, and it's just something that's incredibly interesting because it's such an important part of the millennial experience. It's given them an escape from their daily lives. It's given them a sense of community, especially on the internet, which is something that really started when we were, preteens and we were developing ourselves digitally. And so it's important to look at anime and see that it's not just this new fad. That's kind of swept the nation.
I would, you know what?
And really reflect on how
I will consider, because Production IG did so much work on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I met the creators. They came to my college. I talked with them. I am going to say that Avatar, Korra especially, is anime. That I stand by that. Loving the guitar. Yeah, the guitar was great. This sounds horrible.
It's changed and adapted in this new age. And
my brother in Christ,
even if you know everything
pop
there is to
filters.
know, you might still learn something. So I hope you guys enjoy. While there can be a lot of speculation over anime and manga's origins and its inspiration from ukiyo-e woodblock prints or traditional no storytelling, one thing that most people can agree on is that it was mainly inspired by World War II. Yes, World War II, your grandpa's favorite thing to watch movies about.
My delivery was crap.
Pearl Harbor. World War II. You see, World War II was a very tumultuous time. And what a lot of people saw was early anime creators were making propaganda films that were introducing children to this idea of a Japanese empire ruling over the entire world. And these anime creators didn't necessarily want to do that. They didn't want their creations.
I've got to, I've got to sell your series while also selling myself.
State-made propaganda. And it wasn't what they wanted to do. It wasn't what they wanted to use to indoctrinate youth. And so, after the devastating events that occurred during World War II, after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and this absolute devastation of a nation, there was a lot of concern, a lot of fear as to what was going to happen in Japan. And that's when we kind of got to this interesting point. See, this is when a proud nation has been devastated by the effects of nuclear weapons, by a nuclear arsenal that has not even been used on another nation to this day. And what are they going to do with that? How are they going to respond? How are they going to regrow? And that's where Osamu Tezuka and a lot of other creators stepped in and decided they were going to do something different. They decided to make series, to make new ideas that weren't just
here's the very interesting thing about what you're saying there,
They
Brendan.
wanted to make something that
anime. This is complicated. I would genuinely believe that anime would still exist without World War II. However, you cannot, it's, literally the nuclear devastation of Japan is so vital to what we know of Japanese media today. Like, we know Godzilla, we know Ultraman, we know, Astro Boy, because of nuclear influence, because of the bombs that fell. So it's, if Japan was just a little less aggressive on the Eastern Theater, maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't have Gojira. However, history is history, and World War II gave a Kamen Rider, another great example.
Tame kids and turn them away. Because when we look at Osamu Tezuka and the things that he was inspired by, he was actually inspired by early Disney. There's the long-standing legend that he would watch Bambi in the theaters day after day after day after day. And he loved that kind of animation, and it shows because he went and he made
such a little baby.
Series as Astro Boy, Blackjack, Dororo, Princess Knight, Kimba the White Lion.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that audio
the
cut?
young lion who has to take over the Pride Lands after his uncle kills his dad. And, you know, his name is Kimba. That's definitely not related to any kind of lion story I know. That was supposed to be Othello.
That was one of the, I actually did know that Kimba the White Lion is a baseball mascot. I also now know that Kimba the White Lion has really only influence on Lion King in art design, and that's about it. Everything else is its own thing. Your Movie Sucks did a brilliant Kimba the White Lion video. I encourage you all to check it out, as well as his thing, but it's just, yeah. Oh, yes, no, Brendan, you're absolutely right. Pulp comics were a huge part of it. Bambi-inspired anime? It did. It absolutely did.
And was not a ripoff of any other decades-old
No,
property.
Brendan, you are absolutely spot on.
But he changed the norms of storytelling, and even after his death in 1989, you can still really feel his influence today, and I'm not just saying that because Dororo is currently airing. But just
That's how
how
old this
Disney
was.
inspired him.
If
when
you
he was
haven't
a
seen the
child,
Dororo new
Osamu
anime, it was
Tezuka
actually really good.
Started this trend. He started the genres of anime and manga, and while he didn't necessarily make all of them, he definitely laid a solid foundation for what we know as fundamentals today.
Freaking love
But enough
Blackjack.
about
That's
Small
my
Dead
favorite
Guy.
Osamu
What we
Tezuka
need
series.
to focus on and talk
It's not
about
Astro Boy,
is how
though I do
anime's
love
really
Astro
kind of
Boy.
influenced America
Astro
in
Boy
about
2003
5 different
was my
waves.
favorite.
Each one more invasive than the last. And when we look at this, we need to understand that anime as we know it is
Edeka 7 was really good until the creator of Edeka 7 went, wait, there's more.
Ah, yes, the 1960s. It was a simpler time. Kids would play hoop stick, play Who Shot the President, the board game. Was it Lee Harvey Oswald?
I'm just a patsy.
The CIA, some guy in Texas, maybe the mayor. Who knew? It was a magical time for America. And when these little patriots weren't discussing the deaths of world leaders, why, they were getting together on weekend mornings, watching cartoons. Yes, cartoons.
I would do this line delivery way better
and
now.
So they sat, cereal in hand, lead in their walls, and a threat of nuclear devastation constantly haunting them. And they watched the little hilarious antics of Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, Daffy Duck, Astro Boy. Astro Boy. Yes,
Astro Boy!
The classic Osamu Tezuka thing I talked about like 4 minutes ago. About a little nuclear
What about
powered
Edeka 7
Superboy
but
having such
Pokemon?
relatable
Which one
adventures
is that one?
Help a robot realize that it isn't
I
actually
know the one you're talking
living.
about. Oh my
Stopping an
god.
armed space civil
Oh, where he's got
war.
like the weird like
Dealing
bubble
with the fact
hands.
that he's just a clone of a dead child created by a grieving father to be a weapon of mass destruction and buying his sister a birthday present. All totally relatable events in your average child.
My buddy had not seen Astro Boy at all. He had never seen a single episode. Man downloads the entire series, watches all of it just so he could find those scenes. What, sweetie? Astro Boy Proto Mega Man? Probably. If I think hard enough, I can almost hear how you deliver it now. Okay, let's go back.
A dead child created by a grieving father to be a weapon of mass destruction and buying his sister a birthday present. All totally relatable events in your average childhood life.
How many takes does it usually take before you give it the green light? That's a good question. It depends. Oh my god, I had no idea the creator of Edeka 7 made Pokemon Horizons. That's hysterical. How many usually it depends. If I say everything in my script and what I ad-lib without any problems, I'm usually okay. Though what I do is I will record I usually record by paragraph, and then I'll stop and I'll take a break. So I may do 5, 6, 7 takes of that paragraph and then move on to the next paragraph. But I always make sure I blend my recordings so that you don't necessarily hear that drop in my delivery. It's tricky. Pick Pack Robot History to watch? Okay.
Life. Alongside Astro Boy, other classics like Gigantor, Speed Racer, and Kimba the White Lion, the later to be ripped off anime. Also
Wasn't
lit up
ripped
the
off.
TV tubes with their simplistic designs and deep character-rich narratives. So why were they able to share one of the most prominent time slots with other hard hitters like Foghorn Leghorn? Well, it's pretty simple. They were cheap. See, with your standard cartoon, you have to hire writers, artists, musicians, editors, and you're putting together a large team to crank out a piece that takes a ton of work over a large span of time. With anime, all that was already done for you. The show had been made. It had its airtime in Japan, and all you had to do was buy the rights, redub it into English, and release it, and sweep up the ad revenue. And this wasn't some isolated event on some offhand channel, because you have to remember, in the 60s, there was no such thing.
That's true.
You had maybe 4 channels to work with, and so you didn't have on-demand or streaming that would come decades later. So of the very precious time that was available on the airwaves, to have even 30 minutes of it taken up by anime a week is absolutely incredible. And yet, if you ask anyone that grew up in the 60s, they'll have almost no idea what anime is, but they might know who, Speed Racer is, or Astro Boy. Because that idea of it being foreign...
Yeah, you can hear in this,
wasn't
I did not
in
take
their
any
head
pauses
they
when
were
I was
watching it.
recording.
They didn't understand that it wasn't an American-made idea. And while these
I was
shows
also
saw
very,
massive
very
edits
timid
to
with the
appeal to a
recording.
young American audience, they were still shown on television. And we can't ignore that going into Guitar Sound, the 1980s.
See, again, you gotta... Guitar Sound, the
Important stuff in the
1980s.
1970s. And I know, excuse me, Mr. Butthole. The 1970s had Star Blazers come out. Star Blazers!
I don't hate
Star
that
Blazers
voice.
was released
That
in
was-
the
that was a great
1970s. Neat. The 1980s. The 1980s were a weird time. They were a fascinating time. They were the 80s.
This is crack.
Yeah, he
Star Wars that everyone in
my
France
editor had an aesthetic.
had.
Looks like a job for Sky
Jones
Crooner.
and
Absolutely.
it's
I
really
need me a
fun
Sky
time for
Crooner.
America. Spielberg was still good.
Yeah, my buddy
He wasn't
loves
making
the
weird
that
movies
that
about living
aesthetic
in a
of
video game,
military
an
post-apocalyptic.
obnoxiously large yet friendly giant, and things were cool. We saw the start of MTV and cable television, and the 1980s was probably the pinnacle of what we knew as Saturday morning cartoons. So kids would turn on their TVs and they'd be introduced to He-Man, She-Ra, G.I. Joe, Transformers.
Joe.
And this was a period in American media where cartoons and converted anime was more to sell toys than it was anything else. You see, we had series like Voltron or Transformers or even Macross that were taken from their source material.
Macross was
and
turned
they
into
were re-edited
Robotech.
to fit the narrative that the American marketers wanted so that they could appeal to children and get them under content warnings so that more younger children could watch them and buy the toys and be more engaged with these narratives. I mean, they even took... Okay, so Macross.
I forgot all about
You
this.
can't really find any history of it airing in the US, and the reason for that is, and this is ludicrous, is because they took 3 different Macross series and they mashed them together. And when they mashed them together, what they made was a show called Robotech. And it aired for a good long while.
2
And
years.
what they would do is
It
they
aired
would take
for
all the
2
main
years.
characters from the
I
different
love how
Macross,
he edited
and they'd
me
make them
to make me
nephews
look
or
like a
uncles or
jackass.
aunts or whatever to make it all this one linear narrative for no conceivable reason other than they wanted to make something different.
I sound
and
like
so
the
when you
most
look at
nasally
Robotech,
nerd.
while it is Macross arguable stock footage, it is actually its own legitimate thing, and it's really weird to see.
Doraemon's animators
Fun
made
fact
the
about
Ryan's
Macross,
World
though,
movie? That's
Macross
wild.
Plus, which aired in the 90s, the lead role was actually played by Bryan Cranston.
Sleep well, my little angels.
Of Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle fame.
So, fun fact about that, I actually got to interview Richard Epcar, who is my absolute idol. He's the man I always looked up to as a kid, and the person that I wanted to be in voice acting, because I was like, I want to be like Richard Epcar, and then I don't have his voice at all whatsoever. But I was talking to him about Macross Plus, and he's like, yeah, no, Bryan Cranston's a close family friend. We still get together sometimes. My wife went to Broadway to see him perform at a one-man show. And it's just like, every story I've ever heard about Bryan Cranston is that he's just an absolute delight. And most people don't realize he did all of this anime work. He's been in, he was in Power Rangers. He's done all this wonderful stuff. Don't forget to do the Pick Pack Robot history after this. I will do Auditex, and then I will go to the Pick Pack Robot history.
Back when he was doing some voice work, he also worked on Power Rangers.
God damn. Okay, maybe I should just let myself talk.
Shows. There's your little Snapple fact for this video. Bet you
Literally
didn't know
just-
that or was expecting it. But anyway, that was one of the big things that happened. in the
I have
80s.
been doing
The other
Snapple
thing that
facts for
happened
a minute.
Was the rise of the video rental store, especially stores like Blockbuster. See, video rental was an interesting thing in the 80s because while it's super foreign to a lot of people now, VHS tapes were incredibly expensive back then.
Yeah.
Because people could send out the rights for movies like E.T. or Star Wars, and you'd be paying upwards of $120 a tape to have these movies to watch them whenever you wanted. So video stores came up with the idea of, we'll just buy a bunch of tapes and rent them out. Eventually, we'll just be recouping our losses and just taking in a ton of profit every time these movies are checked out. Whether it's Star Wars, E.T., Indiana Jones.
Mostly they had made their money on it, so it was just a way to bring in even more revenue.
And with this,
money
movie
talks.
making
Studios will
and
basically
video
let you do
release
anything
became
except for
much
like
more
Hayao
accessible
Miyazaki.
to your average Joe.
Like Hayao Miyazaki,
And that's when we saw the
it's in
rise
this
of a
video,
lot
but
of
yeah,
B-movies.
he was not happy.
Remember, boy, the best way to stop the enemy? Brain shot.
Yeah, my
where
buddy loved
people
Terror
would make
Vision
these
for
really
some reason.
cheap
He loves
knockoffs
B movies.
of already prominent movies, and then they'd sell them under their own skin to rental stores for a much cheaper price, so that they could get the same visibility as these big movies, but they wouldn't be paying as much for them. So rental stores happily took them up. And since anime licenses were still so cheap, what they would do is they would get the rights to them, they'd edit them, and then they'd re-release them in some kind of choppy, edited mess that didn't make a whole lot of sense. One of the most infamous cases of this
Good old
is
Roger
Roger
Corman.
Corman, hailed as the B-movie king, got the rights to
yeah.
Nazca and the Valley of the
I
Wind.
miss, like, you would
the
get an
famous
A on
Hayao
your
Miyazaki
report card.
movie.
You go to
Only
Blockbuster, you get
he
your free
heavily edited
rental,
and released
you
it
get
in the
your
West
candy,
as
maybe a
Warriors
pack
of
of
the
Yu-Gi-Oh
Wind.
cards,
It was
and that was
such
your weekend.
Shoddy
You know, you
craftsmanship.
played the game
And thanks to Roger
until
Corman,
like
this
Saturday
led
night.
Miyazaki to become so frustrated with edits to his work that eventually he would
then he
send a
watched
samurai
Toonami.
sword to Harvey Weinstein with the demand of no cuts to his work.
And so you would see series like Mobile Suit Gundam or Fist of the North
First
Star
series I
come
ever
out,
watched.
and they wouldn't really have proper subs, or if it was dubbed, it would be maybe one or two known voice actors at the time, but it was usually a lot of people that were picked up off the streets. So it wasn't a lot of quality in these releases at the time, despite these series being relatively popular today and being influential in a lot of people's lives, because even if they weren't well edited, the source material was still of a high enough quality that people would talk about it in the start of convention culture, where these people would get them from their standard little VHS store down the road and
Bring back
they'd bring it
Transmorphers.
over, and
Oh,
everybody would
God.
gather around.
Well, that
and
was
watch
what,
it in the
Asylum
basement,
Pictures?
and they'd talk about it.
but it was still wasn't
I'm sure they still make
known.
things.
It still wasn't
Asylum
popular.
has to still be making
And
movies.
that's something that kind of builds when we enter our next renaissance. Whoa! The 1990s. Nirvana. The hit American sitcom.
That hasn't aged well.
Starbucks.
Dave Grohl, the greatest
Yes,
man
nothing could properly
on
prepare the
television.
world for the 1990s.
What's that? Never mind.
It was a weird time where what was new
Oh,
in the 80s
2024
had become
Asylum
not
movies.
only
Ape X
established,
Mecha
but
Ape,
common.
New World Order,
Televisions were in most
Road
households, and
Wars,
more and more
Max
homes were
Fury,
viewing basic cable.
Alien
Kids and adults
Rubicon,
were digesting more
The
media than ever
Twisters,
before. We got the introduction
Snow
of a lot
White
of
and the
video
Seven
games.
Samurai.
The whispers of home internet were becoming louder and louder. And in this time of technological development and
of course,
media
Sharknado.
eruption, two major
That's
media
so funny.
companies struck gold.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Mr. Pocket. Hello, Mr. Pocket.
Saban and Warner
The
Brothers.
Ballad of Buster
See, they made
Scruggs
a
had
bet
just
on
come out, and he
Japanese
threw
media,
that in there.
And we're really hoping that it would pay off. And in a lot of ways, it did. Whether it was Saban's release of Power Rangers, or Digimon, or Warner Brothers' acquisition of Pokemon, you saw these massive waves of attention pouring out for Eastern media in various forms, whether it was anime or Sentai or what have you. And so the idea was there that they could sell these products. And so throughout the 90s, we saw more and more adaptations being released. We saw
Yeah,
like
people-
Foodons, we
people
saw
will always
Monster
give,
Rancher,
like,
things that were
for
anime
kids
that
a
were
lot of the
either
flack.
based off video games
Came
or
Saban,
card
and
games.
Saban Industries
And then those
also
card games and
butchered
video
a
games
lot of
were
series.
localized and released in the West.
Have I seen the
They had
Sailor
enough
Moon pitch
attention
pilot?
attached
Yes,
to
I
them.
have seen the
These
Lost
donuts are
Media
great.
Sailor Moon.
Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled
Good
donut.
old Eric Stewart.
And kids were eating it up. Anything that was attached to a popular show on television, they were just flying off of the shelves. And it was just mostly because of the appeal. Because here was this really obscure media that while there was this massive renaissance going on with Western animation at the time, with creators like Craig McCracken, Gendy Tartakovsky, Seth MacFarlane coming out and making things like Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab. Seth MacFarlane worked on Johnny Bravo, and he also released Family Guy in the 90s. But the appeal of something like the original 151 Pokemon, or seeing
I should
all
have called
these
it the Indigo
different
League.
Sentai smashed
Call it what it
together
is.
into one actual cohesive narrative, like what we saw in Power Rangers, was enough to get kids interested. And then there was also another thing that occurred in the 90s that was really kind of fascinating, but it happened on cable television. Turner Broadcast had a channel called Cartoon Network. A lot of you know what Cartoon Network is, but when it started, there wasn't a lot of media to choose from. Because they had the rights to all the Hanna-Barbera content, that was mostly what played in reruns. You know, you had Johnny Quest, Yogi Bear, the Smurfs, Jetsons,
I know the Smurfs
Flintstones.
wasn't Hanna-Barbera.
None of it was really new or exciting. And
See,
so in
if I ever got to
1997,
meet
they
Eric
decided to do
Stewart,
something a little bit
I'd have to
different.
ask him about
They
Ultimate Muscle.
created a little action
He-
block.
he
and
is
it was
just-
hosted by
oh,
Moltar
such an
from
icon.
Space Ghost. And this action block would later become Toonami. And what it would do is it would have an afternoon show and a late night show. Not on the weekends, not on Saturday mornings, but during the week they would have these runs. And it was Sailor
Boomerang,
Moon, or Dragon Ball Z, or
What was it?
reruns
Boomerang.
of
It's all coming
Johnny
back
Quest,
to you.
but even reruns of Robotech. But there was something different about these shows
What
on
was it,
Cartoon
Toonami
Network.
Aftermath?
And
Is-
that
is it-
was, they weren't as heavily edited as their more
What is going
kids'
on
Saturday
Toonami
morning
Aftermath right
equivalents.
now?
Yes, there are
Powerpuff
famous
Girls
edits in
Z,
Sailor
eh?
Moon, and Robotech was again an amalgamation of Macross. But things like Dragon Ball Z were relatively left alone.
had stated that
They didn't try and re-edit it
Yo,
to fit
they're
a
playing War in the
narrative.
Pocket,
Dragon
though.
Ball had failed previously.
Okay,
in the
okay,
West,
let's see what the
so
schedule's
release of
looking
Dragon
like.
Ball Z was kind of interesting.
All right,
And
War in the
these were
Pocket,
things that kids would
Celebrity
come home and
Deathmatch.
watch Because as we saw in the 90s, we also saw
Initial
the dissolution
D,
of
Adreno
things
Epo.
like the nuclear family. We saw more kids become latchkey kids because both parents were entering the workforce.
Ooh, they're playing
And so these
Night
kids would
Cruise
come
tonight.
Home, they do their homework while watching
Oh,
Cartoon Network, while watching Sailor
that is
Moon or
pretty
Dragon
hot.
Ball Z or what have you. And while it wasn't a lot, these few shows really got their curiosity. It made them interested because it was more mature than what they were used to. It was a cartoon that offered a deeper, richer narrative, and kids were constantly tuning in. And in the new millennium, things
It's
just
not the
erupted.
audio isn't bad. It's my delivery that's the problem.
2000s music.
Like you need to be more
2000s
emotive. 2000s
2000s
music,
all
you
kinds
know.
of crazy
Say it with
weird
your whole
stuff.
chest.
Like video now.
I was
Remember
way
Video
more
Now?
timid back
It was
then.
this little
Now it doesn't
compact
matter. If
little
everything
video
bombs,
player.
everything's burning around me,
Videos in
say it with your
black
whole
and
chest
white,
out.
Ran on like 5 AA batteries, and each of the videos was only like 15 minutes long, if that. And they were
It was
like,
bad
incredibly
watching Jimmy
popular
Neutron in
for
black and white.
6 months, and that was it. They were incredibly stupid.
Oh,
I want my video now!
You see, following the initial shockwave of anime flooding into the mainstream, a tsunami of content poured in through the 2000s. Rurouni Kenshin, Gundam, Yu Yu Hakusho, Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, Ouran High School. You had Yu-Gi-Oh! Even some original projects produced by Cartoon Network, including IGPX and Big O. Only the second season of Big O was actually produced by Cartoon Network. The first season was not. And they were all over on Toonami.
All good. All
And the
great.
shows that saw popularity in the 90s also continued to surge in the 2000s. This, compounded with the release of Adult Swim and other channels trying to get their own piece of the anime pie, created a massive influx of media. But something was different about
GBA
this
video
2000s
cartridges?
renaissance.
Wow.
For once, the
I do
anime
remember the
wasn't
GBA
being
cartridge
heavily edited
videos.
For Western audiences.
I also remember the
People were being
PSP
trusted to
UMD
understand This was a
videos.
foreign idea. It was definitely a risky
think we talked
gamble,
about that in one of the
but
streams.
in 2005, when a certain yellow-haired ninja made his way onto the scene, it really paid off. See, Naruto was a part of something that was later lovingly called the Big Three. It consisted of Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And in the mid-2000s, all three made it out west. While One Piece was technically the first one to make it over, due to its heavy edits by 4Kids to make sure it appealed to a younger audience, it would be fair to say it didn't get a proper release until several years later when the rights were picked up by Funimation.
I actually,
But Naruto was a part of a new.
I got to
weird
interview
movement.
most of
See,
the
Naruto wasn't
One
relegated to
Piece
just the Toonami
Funimation
block,
cast.
like many of its fellow
I
more
got
mature
Chris
shows or Adult
Sabat,
Swim.
Colleen
It would commonly
Klinkenbeard,
play on
Brina
the Cartoon
Palencia,
Fridays lineup,
and
on
then
Saturday
my
mornings,
crew
and
was
would even
able
be
to
the subject
do
of a Naruto
Ian
Hundo
Sinclair
marathon over an
after
entire
that.
weekend, celebrating its 100th episode.
Look,
And because
the only
Naruto
movies I
was
watch are
just
National
taking
Treasure. If
interest
it wasn't in a
Shonen
National Treasure
Jump,
movie,
and
I
we
haven't
saw a
seen
rise
it.
in interest in other Jump series of the time, including the aforementioned Bleach and One Piece. Because these kids may not have known that Yu Yu Hakusho or Rurouni Kenshin or Dragon Ball Z were Shonen Jump series, now they were given the opportunity to understand that. So when Bleach premiered on the Adult Swim block, it was met with incredible fanfare.
Anime from J-Town, Adult Swim,
Japan.
And another fascinating thing that began happening was dub studios were becoming more and more recognized. Voice
Zanga?
actors were showing up at conventions and they had become celebrities in their own rights. Funimation would release more and more home video projects, knowing that fans would pick the content up.
yeah.
And the star power of their dubs, like
She
Ouran
did
High
play
School,
Zanga.
Soul Eater, and even Fruits Basket, was enough to drive sales. This caused the quality of dubs to increase as well as the demand for them. And then YouTube happened. Back in the mid-2000s, it was almost impossible to watch any video content online. If you wanted to watch a 30-minute video, you were looking at hours for it to load, and that's where things like Toonami Jetstream just could not compete with YouTube. Where Jetstream's average video was about 23 minutes and full of weird anime you've never seen before, YouTube
Criminal.
was averaging around like
Criminal.
maybe 4 minutes.
Absolutely
And
criminal.
so more and more people flocked
We don't
to
have
it.
an Ice Shield
And
21 dub
that's when they began
because
to
it was a
something.
Toonami Jetstream
See,
series.
YouTube was universal. Anyone could upload
Zatch
content
Bell
to it.
continued
And so
its
people
airing
were
on
uploading these
Toonami
little
Jetstream.
anime clips. And other video sharing and video hosting sites were also uploading all kinds of anime content that people had never seen before. And especially with shows like Naruto or Bleach, people were noticing that they were really behind their Japanese counterparts. Here was this whole new world of manga and anime that was made available to them.
Yeah.
And so with the introduction of
otherwise you'd have to
internet,
just
what we
sort of
really
figure
saw
it out at
was
the
a
halfway
tearing
mark of the
down
episode.
Forcefully of the walls dividing our media diets.
Mr. Gorbachev,
Tear down this wall. He was so proud of that.
And so we saw
So proud.
episodes hastily subtitled by amateur fans who didn't know what they were doing, and so we got some really horrible subs. We saw horrible translations, but people were just really wanting to get this content out, and they didn't care. They didn't care how rocky or choppy it was. So we had more anime than ever at our fingertips, and it was just this really magical time.
Reagan
Now, was it legal?
smash. Reagan smash.
Probably not, honestly.
Reagan sleep
And it's kind of where things get a
now.
little sketchy. See, a lot of this was released under different people's names, and no one really gave a lot of original credit to people or bought the rights to them. It was really a wild west of properties. So the creators weren't getting any ad revenue or weren't getting any kind of compensation for their work being taken and edited. And while this problem still kind of exists today, what happened in the 2010s really revolutionized how we look at anime. 2010s, that's the present decade.
This came out in like 2018.
At the start of
I wanna
2009, Toonami, which had been an institution of anime broadcast for over a decade at that point, suddenly went off the air. And it was a very symbolic death of the old guard. See, majorly in the 2000s, we had seen this rise of on-demand programming. And so when we saw streaming bandwidth get better and the success of subscription services like Netflix and later Hulu, there was a real fear that anime wouldn't be able to survive that change, because for all intents and purposes, you could watch it for free on the internet or watch it on broadcast television. And at the time, anime licensing
Crunchyroll was
trying to
originally a
diversify
piracy
itself
site.
with very little success.
They
Whether it was premium
wiped
cable
it all,
channels like
went legit,
Funimation
and
or
that's what
Anime
we know
Network,
now.
or many a failed streaming service. Like, do you remember Neon Valley? I remember Neon Valley. They just couldn't figure it out.
Neon Valley was
And
the
how could they? It
2010s
was
equivalent
such
of a
slippery
high
slope
dive
to walk
account
on.
today.
Sure, anime was still played on broadcast television.
Do you
but now
have a
we're
high
seeing
dive
people
account?
Slowly and steadily becoming
Don't
cord
lie.
cutters and moving over to streaming services exclusively for their media intake. And that's where the magic happened. Instead of resisting and fighting to stay relevant on old mediums like most sitcoms and reality TV, anime was in a position where it could easily pivot in any direction it needed to. Crunchyroll, which had launched back in 2006 and was really kind of a part of the original problem, decided that they should be more efficient. And so
not
they
having
started
nightly
cleaning off any
anime
fan subs, they
was
cleaned off,
how
license
is it?
issues,
How is your
lawsuits
high
that they
dive?
might
Is it
face,
worth
and they
it? Would you
turned legit.
recommend someone
And they
else
got all
gets a
kinds of
high dive
partnerships.
account?
Funimation would also later launch their own streaming service, and then you also had things like High Dive, and even Netflix and Hulu joined in on it by getting rights to dubs or releasing their own anime. Amazon got in on it.
Verve
for a
was
time.
so
they even launched
nice.
their own anime viewing service, which
You
was
had
another
so many different
$99
properties all
on
under
top of
one
your Amazon
banner.
Prime subscription, which was ludicrous amounts of money.
Yeah, never forget the
And while
Amazon
we did see
anime
Toonami
package.
come back
that
in
was
some shape,
that was
and we did
just,
see the
ugh.
success, the moderate success of shows like Yokai Watch. Broadcast television just was not
Disney
delivering
wanted
what
Yokai
it was
Watch to do
supposed
so
to.
well.
And anime became a much more easily accessible thing for a lot of people because they could watch whatever they wanted whenever they wanted, and their media diet became much more diversified like it did with other programming, because everyone watched.
How did I get to interview voice
If you're
actors?
on
A
Netflix,
lot of
you watched
mine
The Office 1,000 times.
were,
and those episodes still
so
aren't
I
funny.
worked for a
Get at me,
publication,
internet.
and
hate
so
The
I would just go
Office.
like, hey, I
But
represent
no,
this
people are watching
publication
their
at
own
this
things.
university.
And so
I'd love to
now
talk
we
to
see
this
people
actor, and I'd
catering
reach
to
out
that.
to their talent
And
agent,
that kinda
because you can
leads us
find
to
their
a
talent
very
agencies pretty
presently
easily. And so if you go
Conclusion.
to
Yeah, you're
their
almost
agent,
at
you're like,
the
hey,
end.
whenever works for them,
And
I'll do that.
kinda just
It's
looking at
much
today,
more
you know, you have
accessible
companies
than,
like
oh,
Funimation, one
hey,
of the
maybe
partnerships
don't
with Hulu,
harass me
Netflix
for that.
investing in over 30 anime in just 2019 alone. It's easy to see that the future of anime is very bright.
I think they put out like 14
Looking
anime
back,
last
for over
year.
50 years, anime has been a part
Yeah,
of the Western
yeah.
experience, and in such an
I have
incredible
spoken
way.
on that in the past.
It's
My
been edited
I
and chopped
defended
up,
Yokai
that
Watch for
spirit
so
has
long.
Still been there, time and time again. Kids have found communities to relate to, and it's broken down so many social barriers. You have musicians making music videos with it. You have drag queens using it in the new RuPaul seasons. You have, $100 million movies.
Oh,
being
yeah, this
released
was
that are
right
just
around when
live
Battle
action
Angel Alita came
adaptations
out.
Of weird anime like Alita. It's crazy.
I'm still waiting
to
for that
see
sequel.
how
If
many
you've ever
people know
read
who
Alita,
Pikachu,
like,
Goku,
they could make some
Naruto,
wild
who all
movies.
these people are. We're experiencing such an incredible cultural shift that is becoming more and more inclusive and especially more globalist. We are seeing a world of media where we can watch whatever we want. And it's just so incredible to look at how anime has influenced people.
I don't know how
And
he
it's
found the
just growing.
Darkstalkers
We
anime,
see
but he found
Western
it.
anime being released, like Ruby and arguably Avatar.
God.
And
We got to
it's
talk
getting
with...
wide fanfare, again, globally.
Oh, I
There
remember
are
when
people in
Disney
Japan
XD
that
played
love an
Naruto
American
Shippuden
creation like
and
this.
played
That
like
isn't
20
King of the
episodes
Hill.
of it before they were like, ooh,
It's
we gotta take this
just
down.
so
This is too
amazing.
violent for
And
us.
I know I'm
And then they
gushing
would
at
play
the end of this
Doraemon in
video,
the mornings.
But it just needs to be said that this isn't just some fad. It's not some little sprinkling somewhere. It's had a drastic impact on what we know as media. If we look at things like Adventure Time or Steven Universe or any of these big cartoons, even Gumball has references to anime.
Gumball has a lot of
It's-
anime references.
It's just
Your
here.
first anime was
And
Ranma 1/2.
it's just
Oh,
such a
wow.
wonderful world that we live in.
Well,
because
you
of
got a new one coming. Or it's already out.
Anyway, thank you guys
Oh,
so
yeah.
much for watching.
Check it
I
out.
know it was a
Check
bit of
out
an
the
info
original
dump,
Anime
but I really hope
Academic
you learned
logo.
something today.
This is
We've
where
got
it
some other
all
great videos in
started.
the works that I hope you'll also enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and if you think there's anything we could improve on, definitely comment. And like always, have a wonderful
at
day and stay awesome.
There you go. There was my early affirmations way back when. But yeah, that was the first ever video on the Anime Academic channel. That is where it all began, right there, with that little guy waiting for the dub. Oh, okay, so it did start. Good. I'm sure it will be fine. Inuyasha was probably the first anime I knew was anime that I was watching. My dad had old VHSs of like Mobile Suit Gundam and Fist of the North Star that I watched over and over, but I had no idea that was anime. And then, of course, I grew up with like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon fighting Foodons. But, you don't think about those being anime. But Inuyasha was, the little baby academic. He thought he could make anime content and succeed. And then he had to talk about American Dad. It's true. I did not do the ahoy hoy for many, many moons. I had to shape everything into what it is today. That being said, I am going to pop out for just a moment, check on everything, and I will be back in just a minute with the Funimation dub, the 4Kids, or the original Japanese with English subs. Obviously, I am a fan of the Funimation dub. I would like to believe that I am a Funimation class voice actor, not an original Japanese with subs voice actor. Though it's not like I'd be upset about getting 4Kids unless I got like Ratatouille. If I ever got cast in Ratatouille, I think I might cry. I get that they got paid an obscene amount of money to do it, but I'm still mad. Who's a good boy? All right. Let's see here. Only show I'm hyped for is a fan animated series of a Toho Project fan game, Mystia's Izakaya. Ooh. Okay, everybody, put your favorite izakaya food in the chat. I am obsessed with Japanese croquettes. I love croquettes. Croquettes and a big old bowl of gyudon. That's a perfect day right there. My buddy and I would go to this izakaya in Florida, wildly enough, but they had the best oyakodon, and I adore egg on chicken on rice. We would go in there. We would do our dailies in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and to really hammer in how nerdy we were. It was bad. All right, let's do Twilight Part 1. Let me get this pulled up. You want to eat Food Wars food? I do too. I love me some Food Wars food. Food Wars actually helped teach me how to cook. Like, my buddy and I got into a cooking match over COVID, and he and I did like a beef stew food war. And we would just keep battling each other and coming up with new things. It was so fun because, like, he's not a big anime person. I was the anime person in our group. He's much more games. He's in like the top, 0.1% of Final Fantasy 14 players. And I could never do it. I could never, be at that level. God. So what we're going to watch next is something that I was a part of many years ago. Clerks, the animated series. Oh, Tylor, I'll make you feel even older. I remember when Clerks, the animated series was playing on ABC. All right, where show me where it is. Ah, I see, said the blind man. All right, so this is 11 minutes long. Oh. All right, we'll let this little ad play. Play, you ad, play. All right. Pop. Oh, come on. They did. They aired Clerks on Adult Swim for a very short time. I want to say it was around the same time that they were playing like Pee-wee's Playhouse on Adult Swim. Very, very, very short-lived, but still there nonetheless. Oh, come on. Oh, is this it? There we go. Oh, my tabs! All of my tabs are visible! You're gonna see Laura Bailey's IMDb. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. What happens if I hit this theater mode, maybe? Yeah, there we go. That works. Maybe we'll watch part 2 in our next... If people want to watch more of it, they can, we'll watch more of it. I don't care. We'll watch all, 4 parts? I'm only in, 5 videos. It's not... It's funny that this... Okay, so I did this character for this series over, God, I want to say 4 years for 5 videos? Oh, I have an IMDb? I had no idea. That's hilarious. I'm sure it's not my actual name. I'm sure it's probably misspelled if it is. But that is really, really funny. Yeah, no, I remember watching Clerks on Adult Swim. Oh my God. I was at Half Price Books and they had 30 copies of the entire first season of Metabots, and they were selling it for like $5. And it's 24 episodes, 3 DVDs. Bought it so fast. Half Price Books has the best weird gets. I got like that, and I got Dygard. I was able to find out Dygard. Oh, all right. Well, I'm in 15 videos then. I had no idea. Time flies when you're having fun, as Vilma Grach. Oh yeah, I do remember Emissaries to Malastare. I do remember doing my lines for that one. Shows what I know. Oh, I played a hut and I think a robot. That's not nothing. So for your viewing pleasure, see if you can hear a very young, very me anime academic in this comic dub. And make sure to check out the Auditech on YouTube under Auditech. I will share their information.
With a start, the man wakes up.
Fire! But how did it start? In a room where? How did I get here? Why am I here? How do I get out? Who am I? No, do not give it to your fear. It will surely lead to death. Calm, focus, seek the path.
Seek the path, everybody.
No. This path will not serve. Steady breathing, focus.
I will say,
Question later. Find another
I know
path.
Auditech did a lot
Even
of
if it
the
leads back to
background,
the
like
inferno.
audio and everything. It's very well mixed.
Cannot even see to the opposite wall. There appears to be no other path unless I look.
Yeah, he's fine. He's a very outstanding voice actor. This character is perfectly well done. What an engaging guy. You know, he's got some charm, not too much charm, some charm.
I don't understand. I seemed to reach for the skylight with my mind and then... But how did it... How could I? Who are these creatures? Why are they trying to kill me? What have I done to deserve that?
That guy looks like he's the same race as like Hondo.
Calm yourself.
General Kenobi!
Not surrendered death too easily.
I would love to meet Jim Cummings. He is a legend for me.
Defend yourself. What?
Instinctively, the man's hand drops to his what? What was he expecting to find? A weapon?
They're waiting for something. What is it? Perhaps a mistake of some kind. Perhaps we can reason together. No. I don't understand
again,
what they're saying.
What a solid and perfectly serviceable performance. You know, look at that guy. I'm sure he has a name.
Out of the man. It is the only weapon he seems to have left. Blindly, he throws out his hand, as if to sweep these beings and their mocking faces from his sight.
Did I do that? If so, how?
Please interact as Vilmar and Hondo. Okay, sure. If I ever get the chance to meet that legend, I have to talk to him about him being Pete.
Lord Jedi.
Now hang on.
You alive. With warm cockle of heart, if Billy had cockle or heart.
Who are you?
I'm being Billy. Vilmar Grach. I'm being your best friend, also as I am saving your life. Come this way, quick. Come with Billy. You want to live some more.
Why should I trust you,
I like the cut of that guy's jib. I think he's one great... That guy needs more voices. That's what I'm saying.
Why do you call me a Jedi? Is that my name?
No, Jedi not your name. Jedi what you are. Let's talk more. I know a guy on Skycycle. Lead on afraid. Him bad boy. Keep running downstairs, Jedi.
What about you?
Not to worry. Billy has plans. Keep running, Jedi. Don't die. Now for next part of most excellent plan. A little twist and... Lido, my friend, you know what is time? Right. Time to say bye-bye. As far as you go, Jedi. On foot, that is. Will you find us most nice Skycycle for us to ride and escape in? What you think, huh?
Why are you doing this, Quark? Why should I trust you?
Good old Billy. Always looking out for the Jedi. I would say Billy is the hero of his story.
Or take a chance with strangers who are coming to kill you. Oh, it's such a tough decision. Whatever will you do?
Go fast.
We will go fast. Who would...
You wouldn't know why all these people are trying to kill me, would you?
But of course, they are all cheating. Everyone here on Nar Shaddaa know you are Jedi and know your memory is meant to go poof. Nar Shaddaa be nasty, so everyone makes bets how long you last. And because this is Nar Shaddaa, everyone try to cheat. Take you die closest to time. Then they win bombard monies. Someone wins soon. We don't lose these guys, you bet.
Give me your blaster.
What? Oh, crazy, not so Jedi. You maybe want to die? Sit down.
The Jedi is far from crazy. He feels and understands. His arm and hand are
I
one
will
with
say, the
his
narrator is probably the standout
blaster is
voice
an
on these
extension of his
videos.
hand. The target is one with the blaster. In his mind, the shot has already taken place.
Everybody cheat but Billy! There's that Wilhelm scream.
Not bad, Jedi. Really most impressed. You sit down now, okay? From here to Billy's hiding place is not far, and then we are safe.
Pink lightsaber.
Okay, everything is quite safe now. You can give me back blaster.
Oh, yes. Here. Crude weapon, but useful. What is this Jedi that people keep calling me? Is that my species?
Nah, Jedi
Oh.
is the Force. This Force is like energy stuff in all
Aaron
living
Waters.
things.
There you go.
Really
A
doesn't
real
understand
talent.
it. Tries not to have too much to do with it. Everybody think because you lose memory, you lose ability to manipulate Force. But you still have not. Still you are Jedi even when you don't know what Jedi is. Some say you kill other Jedi, say you Jedi gone bad. Other Jedi maybe do this to you. Really not know. Really not care.
So, why did you help me, Grork?
Really not want you to die back there. Really want you to die here. Now.
I see.
Dun, dun,
You're a
dun.
gambler and cheater as well.
Big time. Come Nar Shaddaa, lots of money. Make some teensy bets, lose big. So now make big bets and make killing. Good plan, huh? Hello, losers. Will Margrak making claim on Jedi bet. Visual confirmation in 5 seconds.
Deveronians, all alike. All.
Nothing personal, Jedi.
Why does it feel like a prequel to KOTOR? I think this happens around the same time as Clone Wars? Because I'm pretty sure that guy is like the wildling Jedi that works with Obi-Wan from time to time.
But how did you know?
The blaster told me. While I was focused,
Really save you to help edit backlog of reviews of American animated sitcoms, maybe. Perhaps you have editing techniques to help with series called Critic?
Tell me.
Where John Lovitz tells people about movies that be sucking and stinking.
Everybody know Jedi do not kill
Maurice
unless they
LaMarche is constantly in show. 10 years before the Clone Wars. Okay, I knew it was around that era, not necessarily. Yeah, KOTOR is like old.
And I know you're a liar, Grork. So why shouldn't I kill you?
That's enough. Put the blaster down, brother.
Who are you? And why should I listen to you?
We're also Jedi.
And there's Auditech.
Lightsabers, the weapons of a Jedi Knight. So drop the blaster and come with us. You have a lot to answer for.
Friendly words, so no hard feelings, okay? These guys I know. Them not Jedi. Them bad boys.
For that, you can die with him, Deveronian.
Need a weapon. If I could reach the lightsaber. Or it could reach me.
The mind focused, the lightsaber in his hand, images floating off the weapon. voices whispering in his mind. The female is a Padawan, his Padawan, his companion. She has a name. Ayla, Twilight's, Rylo, Glitterow, other faces, other places. The Shafe Tinte, Mace Windu, his own face, his own name, just out of reach. He is...
Jedi, watch out!
The match is an uneven one. For one, the weapon in his hand is now familiar. And though the mind does not remember, the body does. Memory lies deep in muscle. The outcome is never in question.
They were, in fact, bad boys.
I know who I am. My name is Quinlan Voss, and I am a Jedi.
Oh, nice for you. Really glad you know that, but you're not safe until off moon, so we should go bye-bye quick.
I'm not going anywhere with you. You tried to kill me.
Oh, that was old bet. Really lost that one. While you were playing around with fake Jedi, really make no bet. Only way really cover losses now is to make bet with longer odds, and that is that Jedi escapes alive. All I have left to bet is own self. I lose and I Purdue. It's Billy's best interest that Jedi lives. So
yeah, make sure to follow Auditech. They do all kinds of Star Wars or comic dubs.
The first one was mine.
And you can hear me in some of them, including the Twilight series.
Ayla.
Twilight by Stephanie Meyer.
Okay, fine. Please we go quick before we get what's toasted, yes?
Lead on, Grork. Lead on.
And there you go. That is the first part of 4 parts. I'll try and do a Tom Kane there. What? Battle in space. The Jedi Knights are fighting to stop this horrid monstrosity. All right. And then we said we would watch Pick Pack, the history.
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV
Bull
Online.
honky. Final Fantasy XIV's not an anime.
Take it easy.
What
and
is this?
play your way.
This
All
video
right,
is
here we
sponsored
go.
by Bai. Bai places orders or bids on products from Japanese online stores and auction sites on your behalf. Your item is then shipped to Bai's warehouse, and from there it's prepared for international shipping and sent to you.
Video
Bai's
Dojo,
services
eh?
include popular
Good
marketplaces
job, Video
such
Dojo.
as Yahoo Auctions Japan, Mercari, Rakuten, and Amazon Japan, to name just a few. Bai ships worldwide, including to Europe, North America, and Oceania, and offers a selection of insurance plans so you can rest easy knowing that precious piece of gaming ephemera you've been searching for ages will arrive safely. Bai is giving Video Dojo viewers a 2,000 yen first-time purchase coupon for signing up using the link below. Try Bai and save 2,000 yen, that's more than
There is a part to
$14,
this?
on your first purchase using the link in the description. By using Bai, you can buy anything from Japan.
You're approaching your millionth view? That's wonderful. Congratulations.
While Namco is primarily known by video game fans for their many decades of arcade classics and home console hits, the internationally renowned company has, during its over half a century of history, also dabbled in areas beyond gaming, including theme parks, consumer electronics, and even robotics. Today, we'll be taking a look back at one of Namco Robotics Division's most forward-thinking, mysterious, and potentially ill-fated creations, namely the robot band Pick Pack. While there has been a handful of interviews, official coverage, and enthusiast reportage on this specific area of Namco's history, up to this point, it's pretty much always been conducted in Japanese, with very little being produced on the specific topic for the English language. Rather than attempting the foolhardy task of condensing the entire history of Namco's non-gaming output into one video, I'd like to instead focus in on one specific aspect of this niche topic, and even share a few, as yet undiscussed, details about this elusive idol group. Along the way, we'll be travelling down a rabbit hole of 1980s futurism, laserdiscs, imprinted memory, and city pop. Buckle up and keep your hands and feet inside the car at all times. It's gonna be a fascinating ride.
Okay. Story of Pick Pack, alright. There's a part 2. Oh, okay.
First, let's begin with an extremely abridged history of Namco itself. In 1955, in Tokyo, Japan, a businessman by the name Masaya Nakamura founded
If
Nakamura
people want to watch the
Seisaku
part 2, we'll watch the part
company
2.
that would
Otherwise,
eventually become Namco.
we'll see where the part 1 gets us.
During its first decade of operations, Nakamura's company primarily produced coin-operated amusement rides, such as mechanical rocking horses for department stores and rooftop amusement spaces. A few years later, the company branched out into electromechanical arcade games, often abbreviated as EM or Elemecha. As the name would suggest, these Elemecha games heavily utilize electrical components, and were seen as the bridge between the purely mechanically driven games of old and the arcade video games that would eventually shake up the industry. By the latter
It is
half of the
fascinating
1970s,
to see
Namco had
different
invested heavily
angles
in
of
this
how
new
like
technology,
Japanese
leading to
developments
significant growth.
elevated the game.
As the early 1980s rolled around, Namco's business endeavors within the nascent arcade game business
The
had proven very
Laserdisc
fruitful
is
as well.
fun and all, but
Aided
tell
by
him
the
to
booming
get in
Japanese
on the
economy and the runaway
what was
success
it?
of early international smash hits Galaxian and
It was the
Pac-Man,
Laserdisc. What was
Nakamura
the
sought to
VHS
begin expanding
competitor?
further into amusement robots,
Oh.
a desire that stemmed from his background as a mechanical engineer and eventually led to
wasn't
the creation of a
8-bit, it
dedicated
was
robotics team in 1980.
Beta.
In a partnership with Japan's
Beta
Science
disc.
and Technology Agency, Namco produced robots for use in the Japan Science Foundation Museum in Tokyo. Like most of Namco's
VHS
robots
and
up to this
Beta,
point,
whatever?
these creations were unique and popular with visitors, but extremely simplistic by today's standards. Later the very same year,
Betamax.
Namco
It was
produced
Betamax.
Namco, a robot for use in micromouse
No,
competitions.
no.
These are events in which autonomous
Betamax
robots
were
navigate
like
through a maze
they were
unaided.
smaller.
A follow-up Mappy robot was created the following year.
But they also had less
Namco
storage.
and Mappy had the
And
ability to
Betamax
navigate
just
elaborate
got
mazes
blown out of the
quickly
water.
and marked a
A
significant
modern
step up in the
example of these
complexity
like
of robotics
format
on show,
wars
with Namco featuring
was
a wagging tail
HD,
and
DVD,
Mappy
and
the ability
Blu-ray.
to talk through synthesized
And
voice
that was one of the
lines.
funniest things when
And yes, that's right.
people were
Mappy and
talking
Namco
about
were
how
first
like
conceived as
Xbox
robots
is the
several
superior
years
one.
prior
I'm
to
like,
the
all
release
right.
of the Mappy
Well,
arcade
every
game in
Xbox One
1983,
comes with a
not the other way
Blu-ray
around.
player, not an
Namco
HD
had already
DVD
produced
player.
a significant number of robots
And
in the years
Blu-ray
since
is
its founding.
actually
However, the robots produced in the early
copywritten
80s
by
feel
or
distinct
trademarked
from the earlier
by Sony.
Patty-Punk-esque designs
Sony is
that
the
came
one that
before
makes the
them,
Blu-ray
thanks
players.
to the work of
So
designer
Sony gets a
Shigeaki
cut of
Toyama.
every Xbox
Toyama's
and every
designs
PlayStation that
incorporated
ever
rounded
sold.
forms with pops of color, a futuristic yet warm and friendly take on
Oh,
robots,
calls them
especially when compared to the
Betamax instead of
prevailing image
Baymax?
of the
That's
cold
funny.
mechanoid that occupied the imagination of so many at the time. The prolific Toyama would later oversee the mechanical designs for Xevious, as well as designing elaborate arcade cabs such as Prop Cycle for Namco in 1996. Another key player in our story is Norio Nakagata, a young composer and musician who joined Namco in 1984. He was offered a music role at the company after bringing in cassette tape featuring original demo tracks performed by his band Aquapolis. At the time he believed he'd be joining in a music role within the games division,
Aquapolis?
but once
Okay.
he began, he found out he'd been assigned to the robot team instead. At this point, mechanical plans for a robot band were already well underway at Namco, with Shigeaki Toyama in charge of visual design. Initially, the
Sounds
team floated
very
potential names
reminiscent
such
of,
as
like,
RP-30 and Robo
you know,
Otto
Chuck E.
Land,
Cheese
a bilingual
and stuff
pun
like
that relies on the Japanese word otto, meaning sound. The team ultimately decided on pick-pack, a word intended to evoke the onomatopoeic sound of a beating heart of a robot. Nakagata's first task in his new role was to produce 30 minutes of music to be performed by the robot band. Additionally, he oversaw, quote,
selecting voice actors and creating data for dubbing and voice control programs.
Based on a tweet shared in 2017, it appears that Nakagata composed approximately 6 songs. This was in addition to 2 vocal tracks which were written and performed by famous artists, something I'll discuss in detail later. The band was powered by an NEC PC-98 computer, which was paired with laserdiscs containing sound sources and event timings to keep everything in sync during the performance. Additional functions were overseen by an operator who sat at a control board and had the ability to manually trigger events. It's important to note that the robots didn't actually play their respective instruments, and were simply miming along to this pre-recorded setlist instead. This doesn't mean all of Pick-Pack's performances were entirely the same though. One fascinating feature was the band's ability to react to audience applause and cheers, utilizing sound level
Okay.
sensors to trigger pre-recorded interjections from a bank of possible voice
Stinking
data,
hunk of
or even
Munster,
determine the
best
order in
robot
which
band song.
subsequent
I'd believe
tracks
it.
would be played. According to official promotional material, Pick-Pack is formed of 9 members, 3 of which comprise the main band.
Oh no!
Saving up to
Ads!
10%.
Hang
You
on.
bundle your home
Hang
and
on.
auto insurance.
There we go.
Introducing the Dragonfly-like Maria Socket, lead vocalist and keyboard player. Next up is Digital Tome 3, who resembles a grasshopper and sports a futuristic electric guitar. And last, but certainly not least, the rotund beetle, Strobo Gonzalez on drums. The
Strobo
remaining members of the band
Gonzalez.
include the diminutive Meiji Mantaro, who acts as the band's MC and hype man, and a backing group
Where
called the
modern
Castanets,
Danmaku
comprised of
reaches
5
primordial
brightly colored
stage.
mini robos
Okay.
with interactive
Also,
stomach.
welcome, Dustin.
The band's
Glad to
performance
see
was
ya.
structured around a simple story involving
Maria
a sound
Socket is your
monster
favorite? I don't
whose
know.
only vulnerability
I'm
is
kind
to
of
the
about
audience's
Gonzalez
applause.
myself, the
So,
big
as
old
you might have
beetle.
guessed, it's up to the heroic Pickpack to put on a suitably exciting show, and with the help of an enraptured audience, defeat the villainous monster. After an intensive development period, Pickpack debuted to the public on November 17th, 1984, at Amroth, an amateur robotics fair held at Tokyo Science Museum. No footage of this performance has ever surfaced online, but Namco did announce, in NG Magazine Quarterly Issue 8,
Strobo
that Pickpack
Gonzalez
were in
is just-
attendance at the
Yeah,
event.
kinda.
This
Strobo
article also included
Gonzalez,
a selection of
robotic
photographs of the
drummer.
band, most
I don't
likely
know,
taken during
Stan.
this performance, although I
I
haven't
took
been
a
able
lot
to
of
confirm this.
absinthe. I drank a lot
While
of
the
absinthe
team
to
worked
join the
hard to
robot
produce
band.
Pickpack,
That's
the
the
overall
origin of
results were
this
seen, internally at least, as unsatisfactory,
Roger. I
with
wish
the
I
total
could.
production cost
I
of the
really
band
can't do
said to
any
have been
American
15
Dad
million yen,
voices.
or around 18.5 million yen in 2022 when adjusted for inflation, with Namco charging exhibitors a rental cost of approximately 3.5 million yen for 1 week's performance, as was the case with Amroth
35
84.
grand for a
Pickpack's
week?
imprecise movements when compared with other comparable robots was cited as a major shortcoming by management. Despite the perceived failure, the endeavor was still remembered fondly by many who saw the band perform, and those who worked on the project. In an interview conducted in 2016,
Has a news
Toyama
coverage
talked
too?
about the
Okay.
importance of emotion within robotics, emphasizing the ability to relate to a robot being more valuable than high technology. Quote,
In the past, we used to make just for fun ideas of what we wanted the future to look like. Nowadays, there are robots
It's
that
so
are more
funny because
accurate
nowadays
and can
Bandai
really play
Namco
instruments.
is
that really
not
entertainment?
hailed as a
Personally,
great company.
I think it's not very cute.
It's not hailed as a
If we don't
creative
think about
company, really
emotion
kind of
as well as
shady.
accuracy, we
but,
will
you know,
never
at
be able
least
to
they
talk
still
on an
give
equal
us
footing.
Elden Ring and Tekken, Armored Core.
In March
Oh,
of
my.
1985, the International Science Technology Exposition opened in Tsukuba, Japan.
Yeah!
This international specialized exposition, more commonly referred to as Expo 85, followed
Also,
in the footsteps
just so that
of many
everyone
World's
knows,
fairs that came before
there
it.
will not be any streams next
Tsukuba
week.
played host to
What do I want
pavilions
to watch after
featuring a
this? Who
number of
knows? Let the
forward-thinking
chat
and
decide. What do you
cutting-edge
guys want to see
installations
next? What do
by
you guys
both
want to
domestic
do next?
manufacturers and the
Let me
international
know
community,
in the
and was
comments
centered around the
below.
theme Science and Technology for Man at Home.
I
Despite
won't be
this, the
streaming
event
next
wasn't
week.
just about
We're
raw
leaving
technological
for a
advancement.
funeral on
It was also a
Thursday,
utopian look forward at a
and then I
possible
will be
future
gone
and a
until the
showcase of
following week.
contemporary artistry and craft.
But I am going to
Numerous
try and
sculptural
make sure I
architectural
have
works adorned the expo
videos
grounds,
coming
and
out
several
every
big
single
names
day
from
that
the
I'm
Japanese
gone.
music industry produced original music for the event, including Ryuichi Sakamoto, co-founder
and
of
the
the
low poly
pioneering
come
electronic
from
music group YMO,
Bandai
and Jun
Museum
Tagawa,
Volume
all-round
4.
avant-garde powerhouse.
Twilight
to name
Part
just
2.
two.
I'm probably okay.
Oh,
I can only
and
listen
the
to
show
so
was
much
full
of my
robots.
voice in one day.
Lots of robots.
The robot birds are cool. God, I don't have 6 hours to react to my reaction. All I'll say is, the guy that said it was fucking boring is valid. I should have boosted LS Mark's videos audio more. I should have had it play louder. That is on me. Oh yeah, I probably would have to mute the Transformers video. I did watch it. It is really, really good. It is in our Discord. If you're ever interested, feel free to join the Discord.
About a year prior to the Expo's opening date,
Barbara
Namco hurriedly made plans to
Coin,
host their
we're
own
still trying to
pavilion
clear
at
the
Expo
fire from
85.
Warm Springs?
Namco's pavilion would showcase their creations with a lineup of cutting-edge robots
You're
taking
going to
center
Fremont?
stage.
Have fun in
Unfortunately,
Fremont!
this plan never came to fruition, and in the end, Namco shifted their involvement in the Expo from technology to entertainment, acting
Have
as one of
fun
the
in
handful of
Fremont.
companies operating Hoshimaru Land, a temporary amusement park named and
Does
themed
Studio
after
Trigger
Expo
ever miss?
85's
That's a
mascot,
loaded
Cosmo
question.
Hoshimaru.
Because personally, I'm
Namco
gonna
produced
say
a small number of roaming
oh,
robots
God,
in the
what was
likeness
that
of Cosmo
one?
Hoshimaru.
What was
at least
the
one of
mecha
which
series
is still
they
operational
did?
today. Additionally, Namco
Gurren
acted as a
Lagann, that's
sponsor
the
and
one.
co-organizer
No.
of the first World Micro Mouse contest, hosted during the expo, and operated a game center inside the
The
park.
one where it was
A handful
funded
of
by
Twitter users
Shinzo
who attended
Abe
Expo
to
85
get people to have more
stated
kids.
that alongside Cosmo Hashimaro, they did also see Pickpack perform at the event. However, this has never been officially confirmed, and during my many,
Darling in
many
the
hours of
Franxx.
research,
Darling
I've
in the
never been able
Franxx
to
wasn't
find any
great.
material that backs up these anecdotal
let's see.
claims. These
There's some
rumors
other
are not
stuff.
a new phenomenon, though, and in fact go back
Kisniver
as
was
far as
okay.
1996
It wasn't, like,
in this
amazing.
Usenet post stating the same thing. It's possible that these netizens, who were more than likely young children at
But
the
like,
time,
I'm
have
biased.
confirmed multiple
Personally, I
events
think
or misremembering
Gridman and
other robots
Dynazenon are the
accurately
best
as
things they
Pickpack.
ever made.
I know as a child, I would have found the sights and sounds of Expo 85 pretty overwhelming.
And that's coming
But
from
it
someone
seems
that,
very
like, grew up
believable
with a lot
that
of
in the
Trigger.
years since the event, false memories could arise, as they so often do. I would love to be proven wrong about this, though. So, on the off chance that anyone who attended Expo 85 is watching...
Oh, I didn't
please get
realize
in
that
touch.
they stopped doing it after
We do
episode
know
8.
that
I thought
Pickpack
they were
performed for the public
all
again
in on
May
it.
1985 and July
That
1986,
is on
thanks to
me.
photographs of promotional flyers that were made available online. The first of these performances took place in Daimaru Department Store in Osaka, and the second in Suganoi Resort Hotel, Beppu City, Oita. From
Good
here,
old Beppu.
the fate of Pickpack starts to get even stranger, though. Meet Kazuto Kawashima. Kawashima, who himself was a mechatronics engineer, worked with a number of major Japanese companies, including Namco, primarily in a consultancy basis throughout his extensive career. Thanks to an extraordinarily detailed work log he kept between 1977
That is
and 2003,
extensive.
we're able to learn quite a bit more about Pickpack's
A lot of that's in
whereabouts after their
katakana.
1986 showing in Beppu City. This work log,
And
which
also
is available on
kanji, therefore I
Kawashima's
can't
artist
read it.
webpage, first mentions Pickpack in the
But
section
the katakana
dated
I could read.
1993. The entry states that Kawashima rented the robot band
Pro
to an
Mare was
Isetan
also
department store
okay.
in Thailand,
It-
and
it
an Isetan
wasn't-
department store in Malaysia. This is followed
It was
up by
not
an
my
additional
favorite thing that they had
entry in
ever
his
done, but it
work
was not my
log for
least
April
favorite thing.
1994, listing a further rental to a Dali Isetan department store in
Oh, that
Kaohsiung
was
City,
such a
southern
cool
Taiwan.
like element to
Based
it.
on these listings,
Having
it
the
seems that
kaiju
Kawashima
just be
came
like
into the
so
possession of Pickpack sometime
slow
between
and
1986
meandering.
and
I like that
1993.
a lot.
Whether he purchased
I
Pickpack
don't
from
know.
Namco or
Like
rented them on
Gridman and
Namco's behalf
Dynazenon were
during
just
this time remains
so.
unclear. With this information,
For
we
lack
can,
of a better
however,
word,
begin
they
to
were
build
just
a
so
timeline
human.
from Pickpack's
I
debut
really
to their
appreciated
subsequent
them. Like Kill la
performances,
Kill is great.
with
Don't
a
get me
big
wrong.
asterisk next
You
to
know,
Expo
Gurren
85.
Lagann
But what
foundational.
next?
But Gridman was. How many ads are there? I don't care, Agatha. I do
For
not
many,
care.
myself included, our first introduction to Pickpack was likely several years after the band's final confirmed public performance, by way of Namco Museum Volume 4 for PlayStation. Namco
course.
Museum is a series of unique arcade collections released between 1995 and 1997. What sets this series apart from other retro compilations is the fact that, in addition to playable versions of many classic games, each entry
Join
takes
the
place within a
Discord.
navigable
Welcome.
3D
Glad to
virtual
have you.
museum, featuring exhibitions filled with Namco history and ephemera, including some pretty obscure non-gaming pieces of Namco history. The theatre found in Volume 4 is styled after a live music venue, and has many famous faces in attendance. They're all gathered for a secret performance by none other than the music sensation Pickpack. This performance is made up of 2 songs and a light show. In the Japanese release, the included songs are both vocal tracks. What's interesting is that these songs weren't created for Namco Museum, but rather the 2 vocal tracks originally written and composed for the band's live shows. Pickpack's theme was composed by Nobuyuki Shimizu, and with lyrics written by EPO. Shimizu and EPO had previously collaborated on her
If you
debut
want to
album.
put your
The
videos in
second
React
vocal
videos, we
theme,
may watch
Robot
them, we may
March,
not.
was written by Teiko
You know,
Onuki,
everybody was more than
who
welcome to
later
put
released
whatever
a version
videos
of the
they
song
want
with
in there for
revised
people to
lyrics
check
on her
out.
album Coming Soon. Both EPO and Onuki were household names at the time, but for those of us outside of Japan, Onuki's name may sound especially familiar, as her 1978 song 4am experienced a huge resurgence as perhaps one of the most well-known tracks within the city pop genre, after a whole new generation of international fans discovered it online.
I do
One upload of
recognize
the track has
4am.
amassed over 10 million views on YouTube at the time of recording. Both Pickpack's theme and Robot March are delightfully poppy and drenched
Welcome,
in 80s synth charm. Once you've heard these tracks, it's hard not to fall in love with Pickpack. Even outside of these wonderful inclusions for Pickpack fans old and new, Namco Museum is a really amazing virtual day trip for anyone interested
Everybody
in Namco's
gets a little
history.
wave.
Across the collection of 6 volumes, only 5 of which released outside of Japan,
Love some
there
good
is even
city pop.
references to Namco's robot receptionist, Reception
What
Komachi,
is,
the tea
it was
serving
like
robot Kyuji-kun,
Plastic
and a personal
Love?
favorite
Plastic
of mine,
Love's one of my
Wagan,
favorites.
a rowdy Elemecha with a striking resemblance to Godzilla, albeit significantly cuter. In preparation for this video, I reached out to
All right.
legendary composer Norio
Someone needs to
Nakagata,
edit all
who,
Godzilla
as I
movies
mentioned
to have
earlier,
that
was
little
responsible
robot
for the audio
Godzilla
side
instead of the big
Pickpack,
boy.
to ask him about his
Instead of
recollection of
Big
the band.
G.
He was kind enough to share a selection of photographs.
Everybody
of the band
loves
members,
Big
and in
G.
one tweet, he
What's
recalled
everyone's
that a
favorite
promotional
Godzilla
video had been
movie?
produced for Pickpack, but he was unsure about
Western
its
King of the
whereabouts
Monsters,
now. I was able
Eastern
to find a still
Western
image from
King of the
this promotional
Monsters,
tape posted
Eastern
online by Area 51
probably.
Zach, author of the wonderful book I alluded to in my intro, a truly invaluable resource for information
Ooh.
on Pickpack. Area
I mean, like
51
Shin
Zach had come
Godzilla
into
is up
possession
there.
of
I
the
really
tape
like
a
Shin
few years
Godzilla,
ago,
but like
but it stated
classic
that they were unable
era.
to share the contents without explicit permission from the owner of the original tape.
I like the Alien
The
X.
more
I like the
searched,
or
more
what
I
was it? The
convinced
Alien
that
from
there
Planet
had to be
X or whatever,
recordings
the
of
first
Pickpack out there,
Ghidorah movie.
Given the fact that they performed publicly at least 6 times
Godzilla
between
X Kamen Rider.
1984 and
What was it?
1994,
Godzilla
but as I
X
trawled
Kamen
through
Rider
any and all
X.
material that might have something related to
Evangelion
Pickpack, the more I
X.
realized it really wasn't the case.
Final
This
Wars.
is especially surprising.
God, the
as Namco
Matrix
pushed Pickpack pretty
Godzilla.
hard for the first year or so after their debut.
What was the
Even so
last
far as
one?
to produce a
Ultraman.
TV spot for
That's right. It was
Pickpack.
all the Hideki Anno ones.
While amateur video recording was obviously far less prevalent than today, I'd say that there is statistically a higher likelihood of someone attending a robotics festival or electronics adjacent event.
The
to also
90s
have an
Zilla
interest in video cameras.
gave us one of the
As an
best
example of this,
Godzilla
here's
animated
Apogee
series of
and
all
Perigee,
time.
two cute singing robot
That
mascots
was the
created
one that
to
I
promote
grew up with as a
Suntory whiskey.
kid. It had all
They
the
appeared in a
Simpsons
handful of
characters
TV
in it, or
commercials,
actors
and
in
even
it.
had their own
It
promotional
had
music
a
album,
soft
sung
spot
from the
in my
perspective of
heart.
The Lovelorn Robots. Coincidentally, this album was produced by another member of YMO, Haruomi Hosono, and with vocals performed by Jun Tagawa. Anyway, my point is that there's footage of these two robots performing at a
Godzilla
toy
versus
fair in
Biollante?
1994 that was
Absolutely.
captured by an attendee and uploaded to YouTube, so it's not unreasonable to think that something similar possibly existed for
How
Pickpack.
long have we got on this thing?
Same time frame, same
Yeah,
subject
we got
matter,
6 more
same
minutes.
sort
I'll
of
give it
venue.
6 minutes. I don't think I'll watch part 2 tonight, but
with no new leads, it appeared the trail had run completely cold. With the owner of the only known footage of Pickpack unable to release it to the public, and the current whereabouts of the robots themselves a complete mystery. It seemed that Pickpack's performances were destined to only exist in the memories of those who were lucky enough to experience one of their handful of live shows in person.
Okay.
That was until I found this.
It made Japan come back, make Final Wars, go, that's not Godzilla. Here's our Godzilla beating the ever-loving crap out of
a
him.
family attending a rooftop amusement park in Kaohsiung
They
City,
did him
Taiwan,
dirty.
during the
They did him
summer of
so
1994.
dirty.
Mr. Chen had been digitizing and uploading his home videos for many years, and the channel offers a unique insight into family life in Taiwan from the 90s right through to today. Despite the fact that there's not even a hint of Pickpack anywhere during its 6-minute runtime,
music
this
is
video in
fine.
particular caught my eye, as it was recorded the same year. And
the
in the same
delivery
city
is
as
okay.
one of
It's just,
Pickpack's
you know, he's
supposed final
British.
performances. Could this even
You know,
be the very
he's
same
got that
department
very
store?
dry delivery.
I shot Chen a message asking if he'd seen a robot band perform that year, not holding out much hope for a reply. A day later, he'd responded. It wasn't the same building.
Shortest
but he
kaiju
did
fight. Oh,
recall
yeah.
seeing a robot
So
band
quick.
perform that year, and that he'd take a look for the tape in his collection. This was big. How many other robot bands could there have possibly been holding gigs in Kaohsiung City that year? A few more days passed, although it felt like much, much longer. Another message from Chen lands in my notifications.
I found the robot band performance in Dali Easttown on the 9th of April 1994. I'll put it together and upload it.
And then, a few more hours.
What,
The
doesn't
video's
Godzilla
already
just like
Is this it?
tail swipe him into a
This was
building
it.
and that's
And it was
it
glorious.
for Zilla? After this we will out another ad. There are 4 ad breaks in this third. I can't judge at all. I was about to be upset, but like
There they were, Maria, Tomei, and Strobo jamming away. One thing that jumped out immediately.
YouTube
was that the
automatically
song being
shoves, like,
performed
9
wasn't
ads into
either
your
of the vocal
videos, so,
tracks
like,
we
I
knew
can't.
from Nemco Museum. After a little bit of research, it turns out that the track is called Sinky York by Japanese pop and rockabilly-inspired group Jitterin Jin, first released in 1991.
Oh, they
It's
did-
likely this
they
track
did
was
an
added as
intro
part
for
of the band's
something, like,
roster of
big.
songs after it came into Kawashima's possession, with the original Laserdiscs potentially not being part of that sale. A sign can also be seen
Oh,
beside the stage, from
that's
which a
gonna
little bit
bug
more
me.
information can be gleaned. The
You watched
sign
All Out
outlines
Monsters
6
Attack?
segments of
That's
the
such
show,
a fun
although no song
movie.
names are listed.
My
It
buddy
also
and I
states
watched
that
the
the
old
total running time
60s
is 12
Godzilla vs.
minutes,
Kong right before the
significantly shorter
new
than the original
like
half-hour show.
Kong vs.
Another
Godzilla
big
movie
surprise
came out.
that may factor
And
into this
it's
revised
wild
running
because
time
it's just,
is
you
the
know,
omission of
King
Meiji
Kong's on
Mantaro
an
and the
island.
castanets.
King Kong
Perhaps
gets
these robots
drunk.
were sold to
A
other buyers.
Japanese guy just
Lastly,
sort of
throughout
kidnaps
the
him.
entire running time
Then
of the
they
video,
airdrop
a
him on
popping
top of
sound can be
Godzilla,
heard.
and
It
this
took me a
guy's
while to
still
pinpoint the source
hungover
of the
trying to
sound,
figure out
but I
what's
believe
going
it's
on.
coming from
And all of a
Strobo
sudden he's got to
Gonzalez,
fight a
the
giant
drummer's
lizard.
pneumatics, which power his up and down motion. It seems that mechanically some aspects of the band were beginning to show their age by this point. Even with this video, there are still a few mysteries looming over the history of Pick-Pack Band. Do other copies of the elusive promotional video exist? Where had Meiji Mantaro and the castanets ended up? Anecdotal discussion amongst Japanese fans on Twitter seemed to indicate that Meiji Mantaro had remained in Japan while the castanets had been sold to a buyer in an unnamed Southeast Asian country. And what of the main band members? This appearance in Kaohsiung City is the last known public performance. Did they return to Japan or retire in Taiwan? Pick-Pack was clearly years ahead of its time. While today the notion of virtual musicians
Never forget
is
when
nothing
Hatsune
new,
Miku
robots as
performed
entertainers
on
haven't
David
quite made their way
Letterman.
into our lives in a significant way. Instead, in the 2020s, robotics belong primarily to the realm
He was
of
so
industry
confused
and military
presenting her.
applications.
He's just like, ladies and gentlemen,
Pick-Pack wasn't a commercial success, but thanks to
Hatsune
Toyama's
Miku.
designs and Pick-Pack's unforgettable music, Namco achieved in building a unique, engaging, and enduring world full of
darn.
heart that holds a place in the imagination of many
There we
fans
go.
nearly 40 years later. Getting the chance to see real footage of the band was really magical, and it seemed for a long time like it would never happen. So I'd like
You
to
watched
say a
that David
sincere thank
Letterman
you
as
to
it
Basin
aired? Oh
Chen for
my
sharing that
God, I
precious
think I
footage
did
with the world.
too.
My biggest hope
My
is that this
family
video
was
will
pretty
introduce Pick-Pack
frequent
to a new
David
group of
Letterman
people,
watchers.
and that will continue to learn more about this charming robot band
what?
over the
Nah,
coming
you
months
got
and years.
and the Paul
Who
Schaefer
knows? Maybe
Orchestra.
someday we'll
It's
learn about the
David
band's current
Letterman
whereabouts,
tonight.
uncover another copy of that
And
darn
now
promotional
time
video,
for the
or
top
finally get to hear
10.
Nakagata's original compositions. But
Pick
until
Pack
then,
could be
we
remade
can
today.
watch
Oh,
Maria
easily,
unfold her wings,
easily. Very
Tomei
little
shred
effort.
the guitar,
Pick Pack could
and
be
Strobo
remade
drum away
today.
her.
I would be very surprised if they didn't make another swing at it. Granted, I don't think it would have the appeal today that it did, 30 plus years ago. Well, there we go. That was the history and lost media of Namco's robot band, Pick-Pack. Let's see. Okay. I was not expecting so few views for such a well-made video. Like, I will say, all things considered, this was an incredibly well-done video. I'm surprised that they have less than 5,000 views on this. All right. Let me go ahead and just click-a-doodle. Click-a-doodle-doo. You know what? I'm sure this will get this copyright struck, but I don't care. It's only like what? Oh, it's 46 seconds. So what are we watching now? Let's go over to our boy, the man, the myth, the sausage. Let's see what he's made. Sure. I saw Baby Metal and Death Clock live and it was glorious. I had a buddy who went and saw Death Clock and what was it, Goblin Totem? And thought they were absolutely amazing. He got to meet Brendan Small, which was super cool. I had another friend who had gone to see Baby Metal, and he had taught in Japan. He got to talk with him in Japanese and everything. It was very cool for him. I'm not a huge fan of Baby Metal personally, but I'm also just not a huge fan of metal in general. Like I'm not about to front and go like, yeah, no, I'm a huge fan. All right, let's rewind this and then click doodle doo. Here we go.
It's time we cook a steak like a Michelin star chef by boiling it in Jolly Ranchers.
Genius, absolutely genius. What could go wrong?
It's gonna have to come off. Stupid sticky candy.
How good will it taste? Let's find out.
64 Jolly Ranchers. I think it's working. It's turned into a puddle of goo. Here we go. Oh, look at it sink beneath the waves.
Ugh.
Our children of New Bedford.
Ugh.
Things are starting to get a little smoky. Okay, I gotta call it quits before the whole place.
I have not been to any like Japanese bands. I've
Rust on that.
I
It's stuck to the plate. All right, looks good. Let's give it a test and be on our way.
Oh yeah, no. Unless you're like Metallica and you are delivering to an audience of like 45-year-old men that are twice divorced, you are not gonna get bop 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 bop. Beautiful. Absolute art right there. That is how you cook a Jolly Rancher steak. Except no substitutions. What's something else dumb that we can... You know what? This actually sounds really good. Oh yeah. The light sticks alone sell it. Let's try this one.
And
Welcome back. I guess.
So the theory behind this episode is if we get all the water out of the onions, it should make for a pretty tasty sausage. But if I'm wrong, then, it'll probably end up tasting like reheated McDonald's.
I'm so excited. He's almost at 800,000 subscribers. Ordinary sausage may hit 1 million subs. And that's all I need in this world.
Not even close.
I need him to succeed. He's my everything.
Beautiful. Right.
Good on ya, you champion of Chicagoland. You knight of Illinois.
Yes. Salt them to draw out even more moisture.
Nutrigain bar and a Mountain Dew.
Starting to brown up. We're getting closer. Oh, we're so close. I can smell it, and it's burning my eyes. Even closer. You know you're done when it looks like a sloppy mess. Well, if that doesn't look like a sloppy mess, then I haven't seen mess.
God, I made French onion soup last weekend, and it's just literally like 6 onions cut down. You cook them down, and then you make the broth. Like once the onions are caramelized and cooked down, the rest of it's only like 35-40 minutes. All right, we'll put on the dub of Jedi Chef after this.
Ooh, they're still hot to the touch.
Oh, I mean, I'd love to play my voice in more things. It's just I'm not in more things.
I've seen some things today. Those onions should be plenty salty, so we'll
I wish I had a nice big portfolio for people. But most of the stuff,
with a little bit of pepper.
would get me age restricted.
Oh, wind in my hair. Warm smell.
Life did not prepare me for taxes and how long it takes to caramelize onions. No, never does. And, like every time you see it in a show, it's like, oh, caramelizing onions, that'll take like 5 minutes. No, you thought. That's the magic of editing. Enjoy the next 5 hours of your life. Don't burn them.
Well, that's a whole lot of casing for so little sausage. Listen, I'll be the first to admit that I overestimated how much casing we needed. And due to popular request,
Star Wars the Davaronian version where you're going to be the main character. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take more roles as Vilmar Graf.
Identical sausages and really just blew it. With special thanks to today's Mark Boxalo box artist, this guy. Well, this is the one.
Good job, Mick T-Bone.
This is the one
Good
where
job.
I finally get a cease and desist letter. This Will It Blow is brought to you by Manscaped.
Babish hasn't been on.
Men's grooming tools and hygiene solutions. So if your hair
You
is smelly,
Mark Ruffalo hasn't been. I want to know if Mark Ruffalo knows about ordinary sausage. I would have to hope he does, I would have to believe that he knows about him, but I want to know.
Tools, trimmers, and formulations only found at manscaped.com. And using this package, Manscaped.
You know ordinary sausage is good. Good. Everybody should know ordinary sausage. Ordinary sausage is amazing.
Step number 1, jump in the shower and lather up with Manscaped body wash. Step 2, apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Step 3.
If I did, that would just be all your videos, buddy. If I made a playlist featuring videos with my voice, it's just your stuff.
Step 4, grab a towel. Once you're good and dry, grab your Manscaped
And then, you know,
deodorant and
all of
apply
my
it vigorously.
videos.
Step 5, deodorize your good fellas with the Manscaped ball deodorant. Step 6, grab your 4 Emergencies ball toner spray before you walk out the door. For when you need funk relief when you're far from home. And step 7.
Far from home funk relief, what I've always wanted.
Nose and ear trimmer in your nose and ears. Now who's ready for a night on the town? Newsflash, it's you. Go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international.
Yeah,
shipping
no,
plus 2
buddy,
free gifts when you use
I have been
promo code
auditioning for
sausage20.
over a decade. I have not gotten
20%
any
off plus
roles.
free
It's
shipping and
okay.
2 free gifts when you use promo code sausage20.
I did some H games to pay for, you know, during lockdown, but other than that, nothing.
Got him in the forehead, it looks like. There's one. There's a few more, and there's most of it. Not great, not terrible. I'm gonna have to give that Will It Blow.
Which, you know, here's your entertainment trick of the week. Furries pay very, very, very well. God love the furries. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to have paid my mortgage.
We have a slight tear. It's not exactly bursting, but the skin has ripped. Yeah, all right, we've officially moved on to burst territory here.
No, not a burst.
One that made it and one that didn't quite make it. So, you know, let's finish opening this one up.
If they're ever looking, I'll happily do some voices.
Well, it certainly
Not right now. I've been dealing with a chest contusion, and then, you know, I got sick, and actually, my chest is killing me tonight. But I knew I need to get something out. Like, if you've been seeing me rub my chest like this, it's because I've got, like, the muscles are aching on the sides. It hurts to talk, but we fight through the pain.
So that's not ideal. Had the integrity of this sausage stayed intact when we bit into it, that would have been a 5 out of 5. So all that being said, I'm gonna have to give this sausage here a 4 out of 5.
Bop 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 bop.
Bop 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 bop.
And this, I guess, we can reuse for next time.
I want to build my website. All right, let's. Thanks for trooping. No. Thank you for tuning in. I knew I needed to do something with you guys. I needed to do some streaming. I knew if I didn't, I would be upset. So I absolutely wanted to do something with you all. I'm going to try and do more streaming tomorrow with Mrs. Academic. We'll see how, we'll see how my chest is doing, but probably panic attacks. Who knows? Mr. and Lady. That's right, Mr. and Lady. All right, here we go. This is the Jedi Chef dub. Make sure to check out Auditech on YouTube. But here you are.
So, this friend of yours?
Slava Drool. Surprised you haven't heard of him. He's head chef for one of the big luxury cruise lines that works in the inner cluster.
How'd he end up here?
Is that Plo Koon? Everybody loves Plo Koon.
That is that.
Hence his message to me.
You are aware, my
He was a
Jedi
burning
have
star of
appreciated
Star Wars
Manco,
Episode 3.
Especially in gambling dens owned by Hutts.
I wasn't born
A
yesterday.
real smoke show.
It's over here. I've done my research. The Hutt's name is Corporal.
Oh, there you
There
go.
are two
Autotech is
things he
playing
cares
Plo
about,
Koon.
gambling and food. And not necessarily in that order. His prized possession is a Marine O2 kitchen droid.
A Morimoto? Never heard of it.
You need to get out more.
Plo Koon's up there.
The Marine O2 is the
Kit
latest thing.
Fisto.
Corpo's has programmed
Yeah, everybody
millions of
put your
recipes
favorite
all over
Jedi.
the
It's not a...
Unfortunately, most of the recipes once belonged to chefs who disappeared.
My
after
buddy
crossing
had a
paths with
Plo
Corpo.
Koon mask,
So
and
what's your plan
he would
for this
actually go to
reboot?
kids' birthday parties
I'm playing
as
Corpo's
Plo Koon.
weaknesses. Just follow
It was
my
actually really fun.
There's nothing to worry
My
about.
other buddy looks just like the one that plays Final Fantasy 14. Looks a lot like Kylo
Please,
Ren.
gentlemen, we have an
So he
appointment.
got him like a Ren
You
helmet,
must be
and
Corpo.
he would come in with like the lightsabers. They couldn't wheel me in like a Hutt, so I just was there for moral support.
Fed to my knocks. But your wager and the promise of Jedi cuisine has me intrigued. Wager? Jedi cuisine? I will accept.
I don't think he even has that mask anymore now that I think about it.
You will prepare are more pleasing to my
This
friend
comic style is very
than
interesting. It's
those
very
prepared
dynamic
by
in a way.
Morimoto. I will release Slavadrul from his debt. But if Morimoto wins, you join your friend in my dungeon.
That Ewok's eating a pretzel.
That's your plan? You can't cook, and Corporal's judges won't play fair. You'll end up his prisoner.
Relax. I picked up a few culinary tricks in my travels. Besides, you haven't heard the rest of the plan.
Ah, yes. Basically just an Iron Chef parody. When in doubt.
And not just any squirmers. These are wild Tunisian squirmers.
See, I would
Much
say
larger than
Danusian.
Domestic variety.
Nobody knows they're squirmers like you, Doc. Oh, Morimoto has already started his first dish.
Yes. He's squeezing the essence of a squirmer.
So for those of you that don't know, Morimoto is a play on Chef Morimoto, who is an acclaimed champion of the Iron Chef cooking world.
The challenger is having some difficulty with the theme ingredient. When I asked him if he'd ever prepared squirmers
He really
before,
seemed
he
to
said,
enjoy the Space Quiz News. But hey, what Hutt can refuse? Toasted cheese and melted meats. Wait, hang on. Toasted bread and melted cheese, Quiznos. Space Quiznos. Come and get your Plo Koon Quizno today. God, we went to Morimoto's restaurant in Disney Springs, and they cook A5 Wagyu beef right there at your table, and it melts in your mouth. It's like eating beef-flavored butter. It is enchanting.
Way to go, Micah. While everyone's watching him, I'll slip these gunduck droppings into Morimoto's pot, along with this Aquarian burnout sauce and this bath of foot powder.
Challenger seems pleased with the taste of his dish.
Of course, Miyamoto lacks taste buds.
Oh, we
but
got
his
a
programming
certificate
enables
of
him to recreate
authenticity
the dish
given to me
perfectly
by the
every
Mrs.
time.
Academic. She would, they actually give you, if
The
you can see it,
Challenger offers
there's
only
the
two
cow's
dishes,
nose print
Swimmer stew and,
that they will
well,
give you
Swimmer stew.
to show you
While
that this was a
Miyamoto
real
offers
cow
5 dishes,
from,
each a feast
where
for the
was
eyes.
this?
The
A
squirmer gelatin mold in the shape of our
Kagoshima,
host is
Japan.
an especially
ID
nice
number
touch.
and everything.
And now, tasting and judgment.
Thank you, sweetie.
I'm enjoying the sourness of the squirmer.
Iron Chefity! It looks kind of funky, but it tastes kind of funky. God, that is still my. Honestly, that is my favorite Futurama episode. Having gone through 11 seasons of Futurama, 30% Iron Chef is still it's perfect for me. I loved Iron Chef when I was a kid. I'll still watch it. The Netflix one does not capture the spirit.
I can't thank you enough, Master Giet. I was sure I'd die in Corbo's dungeon. And no offense, but tell me, how in the galaxy did your cooking win over Rematute's?
It's just a matter
Can
of
we
using the
get
right
guest
ingredients.
judge Yug Irif? I'm all for that. I'm all for him and his poblano peppers.
Two lightsabers allows. Maybe it's something to look into.
Give me intergalactic diners, drive-ins, and dives with oh god, what was his name? Dexter Jexter? Give me Yug Irif judging Dexter Jexter's diner.
Hot pizza.
Okay.
Here's the big secret about women.
All right. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and boop a doodly doop. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to watch? Otherwise, I'll put on what I want to watch, and I don't think you want to watch what I want to watch. What I want to watch involves craziness. Let's see. Is there anything interesting going on in our Discord? Look at this wonderful Discord full of people and things and reactions, and I still have no frickin' idea why the thumbnail for this is the default of the frickin' every King of the Hill episode reviewed. Like, why? Why, though? Oh, my God. The decline of Rainforest Cafe. Who here has seen the Eddie Burback and, was it Danny? Where they go to every single... Oh, no, it's Ted. It's Ted Navision and Eddie Burback go to every single Rainforest Cafe and every Jimmy Buffett. What a ride. What a ride those videos are. That is probably some of the best that YouTube has ever made, because that boy ain't right. It's true. I'm a part of a lot of King of the Hill like meme groups on Facebook just to share my stuff. And boy howdy, boy gosh, the theories they're coming up with for this revival are something else. I don't get it. I wish them the best, but they're like, because that Dale is dead, they should be looking for Dale and asking, where is Dale? You know, what's going on with Dale? I'm like, I don't know about all that. I don't care all that much. It's tragic that Johnny Hardwick's gone, but I'm not about to sit here and go, well, the whole season needs to be built around Dale now. Because the season, as far as I know, is done. Like, writing's done, voice acting's done. It's just being made at this point. And all expectations are it comes out early next year. And when it comes out, of course, I'm going to review it, hopefully. You know, knock on wood. The news coverage of Pickpack Facebook is weird sometimes. It's interesting to see, like, yeah, it's very much the, oh, God. What was his name? What was that dog's name? Yeah, when Dale isn't on screen, people should be asking, where's Dale? I keep wanting to say Smoochie, and I know it's not it. It's close to that, isn't it? It's like Poochie. It's literally just Poochie. When Poochie isn't on screen, people should be asking, where's Poochie? Facebook. It's just, Facebook is weird sometimes. People are weird sometimes. People are so funny. Like, I saw someone today in an American Dad group, and they were talking about how the, like, Rogu and Klaus Dude Ranch episode was just made for people to hate it. I'm like, I actually don't hate it all that much. You've got a singing Billy, you've got Tequila Joe, you've got Timothy Oliphant as your special guest star. Like, the episode's pretty loaded with things to love. Let's not go throwing everybody under the bus on this one. I think there's a lot to love in that episode. I may actually call it here in a minute. My chest is really acting up, so let's... I love when a show died on the way back to... Oh, yeah. Whether because the voice actor just left and they didn't want to do anything with it, or because they just decided to do that. Oh, what's a good one to throw on? Oh, my chest. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Do I have anything downloaded that I made that is really, really, really dumb. I've got a bunch of Kinnikuman PNGs. That doesn't do anything for this moment. A bunch of shorts that never made it onto the channel. Never made them. Oh, and for those of you wondering what's coming out next, it is absolutely going to be more of, what you call it? That show. Archer. I'm going to try and have 4 seasons of Archer out this week for you guys. So you will not be lacking there. Here, I'll show you an intro I made for a content creator that I have collaborated with in the past, known as Captain Diesel. Make sure to check them out. They actually just put up a video about, if you've never played Ultimate Alliance, remember Marvel Ultimate Alliance? They just did a video highlighting that, so make sure to check them out. They also did one on like Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and over on their Discord, they do watch parties of, speak of the devil, and they shall appear. Look at that. Everybody, it's Captain Diesel. Make sure to check them out. And here is the intro I made for their channel, though if you listen to their version of it, it will have a new beat to it. But I'm going to be completely selfish and play mine, because mine, I believe, is excellent. Here's this. How are you doing, buddy? How are you hanging up? Having a good weekend? Hello? Is he here? Oh, he muted. Oh, well, hang on. I'll play the video, and then maybe he'll come back.
This is what it is, okay? I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
You gotta have that bunny scene in there. That's easily some of the best Sakuga that's been in a minute, like in anime in a minute. So yeah, that is the intro I made for them. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to check out their channel. You can find it in the chat below. Have you ever thought of a grab bag for those small 6-episode shows that got canceled, like Clerks or even Napoleon Dynamite? I have. I absolutely have. You know, it's Clerks, Napoleon Dynamite, Alan Gregory. It's more, would people have an interest in that? Would they have an interest in hearing me talk about these shows? You know, would they have an interest in me going over these ideas? Because I don't know. Maybe. If you care about them, maybe. Oh, we have a new person. Hey, welcome to the Discord. Yay. It just says W. Oh, that's actually their name is just W. That's funny. That's really funny. God, there's so many though. Oh, I was watching Universal Basic Guys on Fox. That's their new Fox show. Bless the Hearts got canceled, but they greenlit Universal Basic Guys. I have not seen anything. If you've seen my videos, you know I like dumb shows. You know I am a champion of peak idiocy sometimes. Like Royal Crackers, I will give it a lot of love for being very creative, very beautiful, outstanding soundtrack, outstanding vocal performances. But sometimes it is just so expertly crafted at being stupid in the best possible way. My name came up as just W on your end in Discord. Yeah, it's literally just W and then like 4 periods. It's hysterical. But I watched Universal Basic Guys, and where Royal Crackers is, it's dumb. Royal Crackers all day long. Hell yeah, brother! Hell yeah! Tate Nation! Thank you. I am so glad there's another Royal Crackers fan out there. Oh, I don't want to, like, I was very, very lucky that Jason Ruiz reached out to me. He's like, hey, I really liked your video. If you ever want to do anything. And I cried. That was a moment where I legitimately cried because, like, a creator of something loved my review of their series. Like, oh. So, and then I got to interview him. I got to interview him and the rest of the creative crew, and that was wonderful. And I remember I was showing a buddy Steve for the first time. They had never seen the show, and I'm like, I'm going to show him Steve. And they loved it. So I reached out to him, like, doing the Lord's work, showing people Royal Crackers, like, hey, let's go. But I've tried not to reach out to him too much. I've tried to, respect that connection of, like, I am so happy he liked my work. I'm so happy I got to interview them. I don't want to seem like an obsessive fan. But if he could tell me if season 3 got greenlit and an ETA on the season, that sure would be grand. Because I just, it really kind of is. Like, that was around the time that views just went, like, just plummeted into the ground. But knowing that they liked my content, it means you're doing something right, It means that at some level, maybe Vimsy Pop likes my Has-Been Hotel review. I'm sure there are way more popular ones than mine, but you have to wonder. But the other really nice thing is, like, I've talked with a lot of Adult Swim people. When I was in college, I did a lot of interviews at Adult Swim. My dream was to work at Adult Swim, to be a voice actor for Adult Swim Studios, Titmouse or anything I could get into. Of course, I had a dream of being in Venture Brothers, and that never, materialized. So I was very familiar with George Lowe. I had spoken with him several times. I visited him when I lived down in Florida. Man is sweet. He's clinically insane, but he is sweet. He is the sweetest. He has a story for everything. And it is so heartbreaking when you find out that these voice actors got paid pennies, because they are so creative. And it's so heartwarming to hear their creative process. And then you talk to Jason Ruiz, you talk to the creative crew, and they're so passionate. They care so much about their series. And most people that look at Royal Crackers just shrug it off and go, it's okay, I guess. I really hate that art style. I'm like, you're ungrateful. You're blind to art in front of you. You're blind to peak quality. It's just, Royal Crackers is great. If you have not seen it, watch it on Max. Support the official release. These people need more love. They need more attention. And you get to hear Mile Flanagan in something that's not Naruto. Like, Fred Tatasciore is brilliant in it. Darby is one of the greatest animated characters in the modern age. And I will fight anyone that disagrees. It's just, Now, granted, would I love to know what Seth MacFarlane thinks of the American Dad videos? Every day, all day. I'd love to know what Scott Grimes thinks. But you take it. You take those wins. I can only hope that if and when, season 3 gets confirmed. I can't. So I said this in the video. I'll go to just chatting. That way I'm not, in this tiny little corner. So when I had just finished watching all of Fired on Mars, and Fired on Mars is not. Oh no. What did you watch that got canceled? What were the Adult Swim shows that broke your heart? Please, I want to know. But I was watching Fired on Mars because my buddy was like, oh, you've got to watch Fired on Mars. Fired on Mars is like the best show on Max right now. And this was right around the time that like Scavenger's Reign hadn't come out yet. Then I watched Scavenger's Reign. I'm like, okay, this is actually really good. And then it went on Netflix. But they were like, oh my God, you've got to watch, Fired on Mars. Venture Brothers in China, Illinois. At least China, Illinois went out with the musical episode. At least China, Illinois got 4 seasons. Venture Brothers, if it had gotten that last season, it would have been perfect television. To have that last season compressed into just a movie, criminal. They were given that last season. They were ready to make a last season. And then they're like, all right, you got a movie. Monsters over there. Monsters. They ruined art. Because it was not, it was not Doc Hammer and Jackson Public's fault that Venture Brothers ended the way it did. It's not Brad Neely's fault China, Illinois ended the way it did. But again, I think the musical was good enough for it to walk out on. Like, the musical, and plus then you got Brad Neely's Hard Slop and Sloppy Pipio show, which was just basically a bunch of Brad Neely skits, and that was great. I loved that. Don't you do it, Nerf Dad. Don't you leave me. Like, that's great. Harper House, unwatchable. Which I have to believe, having grown up with Brad Neely, having been such a longtime Brad Neely fan, I have to believe that Harper House was a lot of studio interference. Because there's hints. There's little bits where you're like, okay, here's where he's really kind of shining through again. Nope. But, like, Fired on Mars burnt my soul out. I felt so drained. Oh yeah, they did have that baby cake skit. And it's fine. The performances are fine, but it's really just, isn't late stage capitalism funny? Look at Tim Heidecker being funny and worthless. And it's like, okay, sure. And so I see Royal Crackers and on my recommended at the end of the last episode, when he's driving his little moon buggy in Mars. I'm like, well, okay, this looks horrible. This looks like trash. Let me watch the first episode. Let me, palate cleanser. Maybe it's so bad it's good. And then you have Theo Hornsby Sr. falling down the stairs for 3 minutes. As just thunk, 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 thunk. I was laughing so hard I was afraid I was going to wake my wife. She was gone. She was clubbing that night. I was on the ground. I was clutching my chest, heaving, and she's just thunk, 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 thunk. It was genius. And the art style is so perfectly accentuated. But, I understand. If I showed my wife Royal Crackers, she would understandably hate it. It is very much dumb guy comedy, but it's in a good way. It is very hard to do dumb comedy masterfully. You have to have your punchlines just right. If you're going to break the rule of threes, that falling scene, if you followed the rule of threes, it would be dunk, 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 dunk. He's on the ground. And you can say that that suddenness is funny. But then she's like, dunk, 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 dunk. You know what? I don't care if it demonetizes it. I want to see if they have it. Royal Crackers. Stairfall. Perfect. I'm so glad it's here. Let's load it up. There we go. Here we go. Here's some peek for you. This is great. I don't care what anyone else ever says about anything. This is where animation has peaked. This scene right here. This is not edited. This is how it is in the actual episode. And it's perfect. No notes. No notes. That is how you make a scene. That is how you, it's just, I I love it. I love it so much. It is, please, I support quality content. Support Royal Crackers. I know I've just given you where he's falling downstairs, but I assure you, it's peak. It's just art. And honestly, yeah, so it's so funny. I asked them, like, hey, was there anything you did that you, like, just to cut costs, and, you know, was there any cut cost maneuvers that you went back and you're like, hey, that was actually really great? And they're like, I'm sure that happened. I'm positive that happened. I don't remember a single example of it. But if you watch the chair scene, that is a perfect example of here's how we pad for 30 seconds and make it some of the funniest that the show has ever been. Oh, and that's the first episode. That is what the series opens with, and it is genius. Well, I think Captain Diesel's still muted. I don't know why. But it was good to hear him. Good to hear him pop in. Make sure to check out his stuff. We love seeing him. He's always welcome. If he hears this, he's welcome to come off mute and chitty chat with us. But yeah, no, it just amen, brother. Amen, taint brother. Oh, hang on. There's another scene that gets me, and it blows my mind. Again, Steve eating the new flavor of crackers and percentage. Only because it's free to stream in the UK with ads and ending up enjoying. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that they present it free with ads, but why isn't it showing half of these chats? It's only showing like 3 of the messages. Oh, please have the full scene. Good. I'm glad Adult Swim UK.
The gang's all here. Let's hit the road.
No.
It's the Disney Plus
no.
blockbuster offer.
I don't want to watch.
Sorry to keep.
All right. I give you 2 minutes of peak. I don't care if I get copyright struck or anything. We're just having a good time watching some great scenes. Here we go. Enjoy.
You're waiting. Wasn't any Croy left in the fridge, so had to hit up my secret stash out in the garage. But let's keep that between you and me, huh? There you go. Look at us. A couple of Croy boys.
Croy boys!
The heck? This thing broken? You take a sip of that. I think it's fine. You take a sip of that Croy yet? You're in for a treat.
Croy boys!
The bubbles tickle my mustache. Taste that? That's peach pear, baby. That's right. Didn't think I'd remember your flavor, did you? Well, I'm not surprised. Turns out a lot of people underestimate your big bro. Wait, peach pear is Mel Dennison's flavor, isn't it? You're, Hold on, don't tell me. You're a tangerine guy, aren't you? I can't do tangy personally. I go more subtle. In fact, I know it's controversial, but I actually like the coconut one.
He's pretending to be so cool.
What,
The beeping of the fire alarm kills
what the
me.
fuck is this? The government should station you at Guantanamo because this is the worst torture session I've ever had to endure. God damn, you're a fucking snooze, Steve. Fucking loser. And by the way, it's pamplemousse. My favorite flavor is pamplemousse.
Andrew Santino is a treasure. Oh my
I
god,
had
he's
fun.
hysterical in this. I may have to reach out to Jason Rees and be like, hey, do you want to come on stream? And we'll do a stream at Saturday where we watch every episode of Royal Crackers together, and you can just provide commentary. Like, let's show the stream every episode of Royal Crackers, because it is a show that deserves all the love. I cannot imagine having only seen the first episode and the mall episode. The mall episode is a wonderful just parody of freaking like 80s B movies like Chopping Mall. Like it is actually presented pretty seriously compared to the rest of it. Like it is really good. Gotta check the show out. Yes. All right. You know what? Let's see what else is in their playlist here. Oh, that's funny. That's an odd. I don't want that. I don't want episode previews. Give me greatest hits. Craftopia is okay. Craftopia was a great episode. To be fair, love Chopping Mall. Oh, Chopping Mall's not a bad movie. Do not get me wrong. But it's very much like that 80s era of horror. And you can tell what they're doing so masterfully. All right. Well, their playlist is kind of slacking. Oh yeah. Oh, I think like the big issue with a lot of them is they're very much like a Rick and Morty clone or a Family Guy clone. Royal Crackers is not trying to be a clone of anything. Royal Crackers is the most genuine show. And I know I sound like a Royal Crackers shill right now, but you have to remember there is not a lot of love for the show. Like I have to believe there's a lot of love for the show, but there's not a lot of like publicity for the show. If you like, I'll go over here. Let me do reacts, and we'll do Royal Crackers review. Let's see how many come up. Decent at best, 783 views. That's just wrong. That's absolutely. Oh wait, there we go. You know. Decent at best, you're just wrong. I was wrong about Royal Crackers. That one I've actually seen, and they're absolutely right. Who's number 3? Oh, it's your boy. Look at that. Your boy's number 3 when you search Royal Crackers in reviews. Yeah, Andrew Santino is actually Theo Hornsby in Royal Crackers. He's one of the main characters in the show. You've got Mile Flanagan, who's Naruto in Naruto. You've got, I don't know who this third guy is. I think you should all check out, what is this? The Anime Academic. Yeah, you should check him out. I think he might be spitting. All right. So but then immediately after that, after 3 videos under Royal Crackers review, it starts going into Adult Swim compilations. No one is talking about Royal Crackers. But Royal Crackers is easily, as someone that loves Adult Swim and has grown up with Adult Swim since, like, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Royal Crackers is one of the most inventive Adult Swim shows of all time. I have done reviews of other Adult Swim shows. I love Venture Brothers. But Royal Crackers, like, here. This is actually hysterical. This is amazing. This isn't. This is an ad for the Wild Robot, which I'm sure the Wild Robot will be beautiful. But here, enjoy this.
I have a big announcement from the sick mind of Steve Hornsby. Everyone make some noise for the new Royal Crackers mascot, Mr. Cracky.
Oh my God!
Fuck that!
Steve, is this the creature from your nightmares? Why would you pitch a mascot from your nightmares?
Love you, baby.
Get away from me, you freak!
Therapist said I gotta harness my fears through creativity. Now I'm in the pilot seat.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I'm showing the Royal Crackers funny bits. He's just the rusty.
Steve, I'm still looking to get that pin. Steve, I'm not trying to make trouble here. You swore to pay the union minimum. Go away! Get out of my dreams! I'm coming in, okay? No! I hate you!
Right, but that's
okay,
from,
Steve,
like,
you do
God.
this, you escape this twisted nightmare, and wake up snuggling with your dad in his bed.
Know.
Steve?
I do not look good in that picture. You look amazing. I look like a...
For that Italian night, and we both hated it.
Oh my god, is that what that picture's from?
Yeah. I think she just found a random picture on her Facebook.
I would absolutely believe that. That picture is the greatest thing that happened that night. That was not good.
The tripe was okay.
Well, you like tripe. I don't like tripe. That's the problem.
I'm Italian. We have to.
I know you're Italian, sweetheart, and I'm not. Stephanie Shea. Yes! Stephanie Shea is in it, and she gives... Oh my god. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, okay. So Stephanie Shea actually gives like a career best performance. Oh, what is that? I'm really oh, gee. Let's see here. Who's this about? Oh, look
I don't
at
know
that.
if it's all her experience
Look at
in
that.
both anime and Western animation,
Boom.
but her delivery in this episode is so...
Oh, I think the episode's called like Rachel. It's in the second season, and it's about her being like this mushroom pod person. And oh my god, it is actually like super emotional and deep. It's so weird how good it is. Like, okay, this is a 20-minute, 22-minute episode series that feels like each episode should only be 10 minutes, but it never feels like they're stretched out or way too long or anything. It's just art. Oh, yeah, no, it actually says Rachel right there. Never mind. I'm just being an idiot.
Dr. Queequeg, how's the formula coming along?
It is complete. We've run several trials, and it appears the spores will now flourish when the following frequency is emitted. Behold!
Oh, yeah, the twisted Barbie girl.
Wonderful.
It's a MIDI version of Aqua's Barbie Girl. It's programmed into every one of these Value Toys portable karaoke machines on the market.
Genius as always, Doctor. Dr. Queequeg, how's the formula coming along?
It is complete.
All right, there
We've
we go.
run several trials.
And that was also Andrew Santino as the red-haired mushroom. But, like, it's just so disappointing to me that if you do Royal Cracker's impressions, there's not really any. Literally, if you just, like, there's only 3 people that have reviewed it. That's what upsets me the most. You know, this guy who has, like, 783 views on his video, you know what? I've got 11 minutes. Let's see what they have to say.
Question. Have you ever heard of the 2023 adult anime comedy Royal Crackers?
I have.
Fuck no.
It's okay, you're not the only one. Royal Crackers is an animated sitcom created by Jason Ruiz for Adult Swim and HBO Max. The show focuses on the wealthy Hornsby family. After Theodore Hornsby Sr., the head patriarch and founder of Royal Crackers, end up in a coma, the family business is now in the hands of its 2 sons. Oldest timid brother Steve and washed-up rock star Theo.
Washed
Together
up.
they try to do all
Taint
they can with
Nation
their
never
opposite
dies,
lifestyles
friend.
to make sure that the Royal Crackers business doesn't come to a complete end and remind all that they were the king of snacks. At first impression, you might think this is the same old adult sitcom with basic animation, bunch of cursing, and just uses pop culture references to tell jokes. At first. But when getting into the thick of it, Royal Crackers is a very decent show, I must say.
Oh, very
Fucking
decent.
surprising, right? From the first look at the poster, you might ask, what's up with these ugly character designs? Why they face and outline look all distorted, like the animators couldn't be bothered to connect the outlines.
I hated that.
And when you go into the show, not only is the characters, but the background too, which could be so distracting.
How is
then
this
the characters look like cheap clones from another show.
What?
You got Dollar Store Flanders, and then there's just Louis Griffin, and you can't tell me this isn't
Louis
Chris.
Griffin?
But as the first season goes on, you could tell that the writers was trying to do more with these characters. Story-wise, I must say, instead of being constant joke machines. The main stars of the show is eldest brother Steve, who is acting as CEO.
My buddy,
his father
you
focused on
gotta
the
balance your audio
then his
levels.
Younger brother Theo.
What is
former
this?
Band member from once remembered band called Tank. And then there's Steve's wife, Deb, a sort of control freak Karen that tries to
You
be a
can
good
tell that
advisor
he's
for
either
not only
recording
the Royal
super
Crackers,
close like
but
this, just like
Steve and the family
swaddling
for
it, just like
Karen
just caressing
First
his
episode
microphone,
starts with them
and
sitting
then
at the table
talking
for
back
dinner,
here,
to show
completely
their
normal.
character and their dynamic with each other. Off the bat, you can see that Steve is the more timid, pushover family and businessman, while his brother Theo is the opposite, being a more loud, obnoxious, life of the party rock star who still thinks he's relevant.
You guys ever see that animation of Homer Simpson backing into the bushes? That's me right now.
That opening scene is hysterical.
Most of the conflict throughout the episode,
Hey,
since
you
two
know,
have different worldviews on how
sometimes there's a lot of people that are attached to projects. That's why I said they instead of just like one person. Like, of course I know who Post Malone is. Like, that's beautiful.
Uncle Dipshit's fart wafers.
You know, once you eat about 3 or 4 of them, you kind of get used to the fart taste.
Spit that out!
I have to get the black licorice taste out of my mouth.
She suggests to the board that they should have a viral marketing campaign. No fucking wonder y'all lag it behind. Shouldn't y'all been doing this? But when the boy chooses Theo over her, she feels a lot of resentment.
Someone who can make our company blossom into the new age. The person we should elect is none other than that whose name I will utter now. And that name is...
me, head of the viral marketing campaign.
As
So
it
her
should
and
be.
Steve work together to make sure their campaign
Is this just
more
the
successful
pilot?
at Theo.
Are you just...
At first, they come off as some assholes because the only reason they're really doing this is because if they end up successful in their goal, they'll be the next CEO since Senior Horsby is literally on his last breath. But no, it's all justified when they all get their upcoming, when each of their campaigns fail miserably. With
Do you
Theo's
mean
being the challenge,
comeuppance?
seeing who could eat the most box of Royal Crackers.
The video challenges YouTubers and social media influencers to eat an entire
This
box
was
of
great.
Royal Crackers
This
in
was
under 10
freaking
seconds.
amazing.
Dude, she's talking over the whole thing.
We put some
Ironically, the
fucking
cause of
change
this was
in
from
there.
Steve and Deb's scheme for their campaign.
The list of celebrity casualties: Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Joe Rogan, and Ninja.
Oh!
Authorities are tight-lipped, but suggest foreign objects
All
found
right.
in the crackers may be
That's
to blame.
strike 2.
Foreign objects?
If
What
I get a
foreign
third
objects?
one of those, we're turning this
Hi,
freaking
I'm
video
Steve
off.
Hornsby.
And I'm Deb
That is
Hornsby.
not
As the
okay.
CEO in waiting and rightful heir to the Royal Crackers fortune, we want to give something back. A thank you for allowing us into your pantries and onto your dinner tables. So starting this week, Royal Crackers is tossing a handful of loose change into every box.
Think of it as
Art.
retribution for
Absolute
not having your
art.
support over the years.
Royal Crackers, there's some f***ing change inside.
To top this off, it's revealed by the family lawyer, Darby, who mediates all their situations, that he wiped his ass with his will, like, literally. And on his will, he was going to sell all his assets and make his grandson, Matt, the son of Steve and Deb, the next CEO instead of his 2 sons. Now that there's no proof showing what he intended after he died, since, you know,
I wiped my ass with your will.
that causes him to come out the super coma he was in from falling down the stairs.
I have
into
no
the previous
idea.
normal coma he
This
was in
audio
before.
mixing is...
I have to
it's
say,
something.
the way that ended was kind of good and funny. It ended with our main 3 characters coming together, realizing that the only way they can run the business is with the help from each other, and their differences would help save a whole lot of trouble. But not just that, it also sets up a plot point later on as the season goes on. Speaking of funny, I forgot to mention, this is a sitcom. Is it a funny one?
Fuck no.
I mean, yeah,
What?
I guess it does a decent job.
I'm sorry,
Sometimes
what?
there's jokes that'll catch you off guard. It just depends on whether they actually try to tell a joke, instead of using pop culture reference or a throwaway gag for a cheap laugh. The funniest character
I
to me
can't
would
think
have
of
to
a
be
pop
Darby.
culture joke
His
used
voice
as a
actually
cheap
just
laugh.
sells that shit perfect.
Oh, no. You know what Burger Boys does to your stomach. You're on the clock right now. Not a good idea. Why don't you reward yourself after you drop the will off? Yeah, that's
I
a
am
good idea.
so glad he's getting more roles. I heard
Yeah,
him
can I get
in
6 Burger Boy burgers with
Exploding
extra diarrhea
Kittens,
or extra
and I was
cheese?
so
But if there's
happy.
anything I
He
can
needs
say
all
is
the
that
roles.
Episode 4, titled Steve, might be the funniest episode.
Steve is
Not because
absolutely
any of
the
gags,
best
but
episode.
mostly from character interactions and dialogue. The beginning of the episode starts with a backstory of how and why Steve
Buddy,
was
are you
born
just
with
gonna
an unusual
explain the
name.
episode?
Turns out it was set as a reminder of how his father
Like,
couldn't be bothered.
I
to
know I
correct his
can't
name to
talk. That's
Steve instead
that's
of
my
Steve,
whole thing.
showing how
But I'm
important his son is
4
to him.
episodes deep, 7 minutes
Some
in.
fucked up shit, right? But you can't say that it's not the least interesting or funny. So throughout the episode, we watch as the character overcome an unwanted burden.
B, as in biscuit.
Boy, that's an unusual name.
Even if that means having a barista write his name as Steve.
I
instead of
cannot
Steve's, just so he
understate
could feel like
how
somebody else
incredible
for a few
Jason
seconds.
Ruiz is as a voice
I don't
actor.
really like myself
Steve
lately,
is
and I've started to
amazing.
wonder if this name is a curse. All my life it's served
Well,
as
he
a
also
reminder
plays
that I'm
Theo
not
Hornsby
important.
Sr.,
If you just write my
Theodore,
name down like
and
a
he
B,
is
maybe it
oh
could be the
so
start of
good
a
as
new
him.
me. Or at the very
Like,
least, allow me to feel like I'm
If
somebody
there
else.
was a flaw
Only for
to
a
the
moment.
series, I have not discovered it.
I understand, Steve, but I'm not gonna do it. We have a policy. Look.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand. Could have pointed that sign out to me before I spilled my f***ing guts out over here.
Conflict starts to start when Theo's old bandmate, Lars, comes to town for a Taint reunion. And everyone starts to like him, of course. Steve, you know, sitcom.
What is the
101,
structure
New
of
Gang
this
Town,
episode,
more
like this
than our
video?
main protagonist. To make things even more worse, Dale's been desperately trying to show their family as this perfect family, but fails.
When she's
But you can tell
photoshopping
that,
him as a
photos are
skateboarder, it's
photoshopped,
brilliant.
he caused out for it. So then that's when she gets on Steve's ass about being more active and posting on Fangram and how he's not making much of an effort. But he feels he haven't found the right moment to make a post that makes a real
I kind of
splash,
wish
she
I was
says.
watching more about Pick
So
Pack
with her
now.
Karen tendencies, she forces the family to do these family photos to come off as perfect. And of course, since everyone is on Lars' dick, he begins to replace Steve in not only the photos but as the member of the family. Until Deb realizes that Lars is just a manipulator who comes into families' homes, suck out their love for them, and then just ditches them for the next family. That's when Steve challenges Lars to this weird gibberish rock off. Oh yeah, not to mention he ends up looking like Lars with pale white skin and black dark eyes. Reason for this was because how he was trying to be accepted by his peers, but it backfires against him, I guess. That's when Steve gibberish him so hard that he ends up sending him to hell. But damn, I don't think he deserves all that, but okay. And so Steve comes out victorious. Everyone sees that he's the Lars that they had this whole time and didn't appreciate and realize it. This was a really nice conclusion to a good episode. It was most definitely a breath of fresh air after watching the last two episodes. One of them being about Theo going on the tour hoping it would give him a chance of a comeback. But after being embarrassed on his open mic, he ends up hitting a ventriloquist with his car, killing this nigga. Yeah, these motherfuckers really be killing people. So him and Matt team up with an old and competent fixer voiced by Gilbert Godfrey. This character gives off a parallel of Theo's, though in a fixer dynamic. And time being wasted on
The next time I see him, it's gonna be like
fucking mutant chickens that no one except Darby know about, who are responsible for making
okay.
it.
Thank you. I can't listen to that anyway. Where's part 2? Oh, okay, hang on. I came out 3 months ago. All right. Maybe part 2 is better? What do you make? Oh. His first video on his channel was a Royal Crackers review.
Hey man, if you saw my last video and was expecting a part 2, my bad, bro. Good news is, I'm back after 6 whole months. God damn. Hey look, I promise I won't do it
He
again.
sounds
I
drastically
promise.
different now.
So, Royal Crackers, the adult animated sitcom created by Jason Ruiz for Adult Swim, has arrived yet again with season 2 as we continue to follow the Hornsby family shenanigans of making a comeback to remind all that they were the king of snacks. Yay! In my first review that I didn't even finish, I found the first season of the show
That
to
he
be
didn't
really
even
decent at
finish.
first. Nothing too amazing, but also nothing too bad. But I really appreciate the show doing character-focused episodes, giving the audience a deeper dive into the characters and who they are and why the way they are. I could really say with a straight face
Oh.
that I enjoy Royal Crackers.
Absolutely.
Came out liking some of the absurd but sometimes clever jokes, the characters and the scenarios they get themselves into, which somehow gets more and more crazy as the
Like we watched my first one earlier
It was
tonight.
cool.
I
And
you
I
know,
guess
you
I
can't
wasn't the
be
only one that
now
felt
that I
it.
know that was his first video.
But
I'm
there was
gonna
some
be less
mixed reviews
critical.
Online with some liking it, others just being like whatever. But none
This
of that
show is
stopped it
worse
from
than
getting picked
Velma.
up for us.
That's the kind of
this
rhetoric
season
that's going
starts
around
off
about
with the
Royal
Dennison
Crackers.
Family Rival episode. If you don't know
Those
who
are
the
people that have not
Dennisons
seen the
they
show.
were
Those are the
recurring
people that
villains in
don't
season
understand
one
the
who
art.
shared the robbery with our main characters over at Royal Crackers. And it turns out the mother and boss of the family is also a part of the school board for replacing Royal Crackers with Dennison Snacks kale chips as a healthier substitute. This causes a lot of tension between both sides as supporters of each brand go into a full-blown war. One positive I could really say about this show is that they really know how to make rich assholes likable and entertaining, and also providing some
I will
good
say this does
commentary
not
on how
deserve
corporate
133
hierarchies promote
views.
a
He
certain
deserves
agenda
more than
because they'll
133
ensure they
views.
end up on top and
He
have
deserves
a
more
lot
than
of money at the
209
end.
subscribers.
In the first season, the creators spun the idea that Royal Crackers is a shadier corporation than it seems to be, and it has a dark past that's part of the company's foundation, like that one chicken episode. But this season, they straight up
And
said,
Craftopia.
nah, Royal Crackers most def have a dark past, and its foundation is all associated with some supernatural sci-fi shit. And the wild supernatural and sci-fi stuff plays a big part in this season. But I'll get into that later, I promise.
Look
This
at that.
season stars
Actual
and
cuts and
focuses on,
transitions.
you guessed it,
He learns
the
so
Owens,
fast.
Alfred and Rachel. When I was looking at some reviews, some say the show come off as a parody of Succession mixed with Family Guy. For someone who's never seen Succession, only reading the synopsis and my good knowledge of Family Guy, yeah, I see what they mean. From the story
I can
of the
kinda
family
see a
members
Succession
clashing for
parody,
power over
you
their
know,
Asian patriarch's business
idea.
and the wacky absurd humor that the show Family Guy has, yeah, you could possibly draw that conclusion. But I feel like the characters from this show stand out more on their own because they're their own character. Like I said, I never seen Succession, so I wouldn't know how much similarities the characters from there relate to Royal Crackers characters. But for someone who used to watch a lot of Family Guy, yeah, they both could share that same humor sometimes. But character-wise, not so much. Well, not most of them. Steve is still his timid and awkward self from the first season, but somehow way more fun and entertaining this time. His whole character is that he's this timid, awkward thing, eventually coming around to help each other when the shit hits family's patriarch. Theodore Sr. is one of the most outrageous.
It is a better video. Good for him. Good for him. I'm glad he saw the light that his Royal Crackers being really solid. All right, let's see what the other ones are. I was wrong about Royal Crackers. All right, I'm sure that's all right. Are there any other Royal Crackers reviews? Anything. Please give me any other reviews. Nothing. Oh, Rick's review, Royal Cracker. Here we go. KGET News. This should be good. Oh, and my review of Royal Cracker Season 1 and 2. All right.
We've got something kind of cool that's going on right now. It's a new animated series based in Bakersfield. It launches on Adult Swim next week. Or is it today? Comes out this week?
It comes out this weekend.
On this weekend.
On
Right?
Sunday.
On Sunday. Okay, so I guess technically next week. So it's called Royal Crackers, and our entertainment expert, Rick Bentley, has talked to some of its creators and kind of asked why they chose to put the show here. Rick, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. You know, this is actually the fourth show that's been based in Bakersfield, but it certainly
I'm sure he would
Bakersfield
know.
does play a big part in this. And I was just curious, I mean, with all the cities in the world and all the fictional cities you could use, why pick Bakersfield? Well, Jason Ruiz, who is the creator of the show, was born in Stockton. So when I talked to him, he said, look, I'm not saying that Stockton and Bakersfield are interchangeable, but there's a lot of similarities. And so they select Bakersfield for this really quirky, weird show about a family who runs a cracker factory that at one time was the tops in the country, and now it's kind of fallen on hard times.
So what did you think when you watched this?
Well, first thing I thought about it was I love the animation. This really goes back to that sort of hand-drawn animation that made Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy work so well. So I like that. I like the fact that it's set in Bakersfield, but it doesn't make fun of Bakersfield.
An important element.
Sort of semi-desert community. There's some tributes to the valley in it. I like that it did that. Now, the humor it's on Adult Swim.
Right.
If you don't know that, that's late night animation. So it is it's a very different sort of humor. I wouldn't let your 4-year-old step and watch it, but it's still doesn't go so far. So I just felt like this is a really good, quirky, fun new show. And as a bonus, it's based in Bakersfield.
How much do they play? I mean, how much is Bakersfield incorporated into it? Is it more like, yeah, it's just kind of, it's based in Bakersfield, or do they kind of really get into it?
Well, there are, if you watch the show, you're going to see some areas that may look a little familiar.
Okay.
I mean, they sort of play off a famous hamburger chain that they can't use the name for because they don't want to pay for it. But as soon as you see it, you go, oh, I know that. So there are going to be a lot of things. It's almost like a whole lot of Easter eggs for us here.
Yeah.
Out in the rest of the world may not get any of that, but at least for us, we'll be able to see it.
It's just another element of entertainment, I guess.
And real quickly, on Monday, on Highway 99 near the Taft exit,
It
will be a
based
giant
in
Royal
Bakersfield. It takes
Crackers
place in
billboard
Bakersfield.
put up.
Get it?
Oh, okay.
Because they're
So if
the
anyone
Royal
else buys the
Crackers
picture, they'll be
crew.
out there.
What'd you give it?
And they
I'd give it a B+.
crackers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's well worth seeing.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's again, it's coming out
3
on Sunday,
minutes.
you said?
3
Yes,
minutes
Sunday.
on
11
local
o'clock.
TV,
All right.
and they're like, "Yeah, you should check this out." What? I was not expecting that old man to go, "Yeah, you know, this is actually worth it." I was not expecting that at all. Wait, really? That's so disappointing to me. Jason Ruiz sits down for an interview, and it's only got it's got less than 2,000 views? That's so disappointing.
Alright guys, it's me, the Tycoon, coming back to you with another review. And this is of Royal Crackers Season 1 and 2 overview. So, let's get into it. This is actually on Adult Swim, and I came across this from a Facebook ad. I looked at it and I thought, what is this about? This looks kind of interesting. When I started watching it, it is funny.
Oh, okay.
and
You're just going to
interesting.
record this around your kids.
Based upon
Got it.
basically a family who run a crackers.
Buddy,
Yeah,
record in a
crackers.
closet if you
So,
have to.
it's about
Throw a
couple
blanket
Royal
over you.
Crackers, and they're out there selling
Anything.
the crackers to the general public.
Fix your audio.
But it's not that. It's everything else that makes it zany. So, set up by Theodore Hornsby, the father, the patriarch of the house, and how
I don't know why it's shot in this short, vertical
Deb is
format.
madly in love with him, for obvious
Oh,
reasons.
I guess for TikTok, but
which is mainly the owner of the factory, and yeah, they get up to all alien. Yeah.
Okay,
You also see
sure.
Theodore Hornsby Sr. in his younger years and seeing how vicious he really was. You know,
this music is
he's
so
not
unnerving.
a nice guy. Wasn't a pleasant guy at all. And if anything, you know, with his lack of love for his children.
Okay, we're gonna stop that there. Yeah. TLDR, if you enjoy Royal Crackers, if you don't enjoy Royal Crackers, make content about Royal Crackers, because the bulk of it, and I'm not trying to, say anything here. It's me. I'm the bulk of the shorts. I'm the one that has the most views by a country mile on his Royal Crackers reviews, and I'm not the best person making videos out there. It just literally looks like I'm one of the very, very, very few that's making content about Royal Crackers. And nothing else in Royal Crackers is getting any amount of views. 556 views, 638, 2,000. And that's so criminal. 2.3, 1.2, 1.7. it ain't right. It ain't right that Royal Crackers is not getting this kind of love. Because, like, if I type in Venture Brothers review, I know for a fact I'm not the #1 review on that. I'm not even in the top 5. Venture Brothers, here you go. 1, 2, 3. There I am right there. 40,000 views. The Venture Brothers in failure. Why watch the Venture Brothers? The complete Venture Brothers. End of Venture Brothers. You know, let's do Rick and Morty. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. There's so much content for so many other shows, and Royal Crackers has just been completely screwed over. And it's so heartbreaking because they work so hard on this show, and more people need to be making content, talking about it, loving it, because it's just so good. Anyway, it is getting a little late over here. I'm starting to sunset a bit. The old medicine's wearing off. So I think I am going to call it here for the night. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We've had a wonderful evening of watching all kinds of different videos. So we'll be back. We'll be doing more reacts. We'll be doing more content. I believe we'll be streaming tomorrow, hopefully, if everything goes well. If not, I'm going to try and get a couple more streams in on Monday and Tuesday. And, we'll do some fun stuff. We'll have a good time. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you. Gotta watch Royal Crackers now. Yes, you do. You absolutely need to watch Royal Crackers now. All of you need to watch Royal Crackers on Max, on Adult Swim, wherever you can support it. Save the best nuts for me, and I'll save the best nuts for you. Like always, stay strong out there, gang. The world's going to keep trying to beat you down. The world's going to keep trying to tell you you're not good enough, but I am here to tell you you are good enough. You are strong enough. You're smart enough. You're going to get through whatever hardships you're facing, and you will come out of it a goddamn champion. I believe in you. I believe that a rising tide lifts all ships, and I can feel a hell of a wave coming. You're going to do something incredible, and I'm proud of you. Thank you all so much for watching. We've got Archer videos coming out later this week. We are going to try and get through all of it, hopefully before October, but I make no promises, just in case. I as my review writing is going, I am currently at season 10 of 14. I just finished writing I'm at season 11. I'm the season after Dreamland. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay strong, keep fighting, and I'll see you all next time for whatever we have coming. Good night, everybody. Oh no.